myself together. Get myself together so we can make it. My jacket's so big. I look so big with this. All right. I'm so late, y'all. Hi, Bookie. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning. I need to stop being so late. What do I be doing? I don't even know. Alright. I still can't figure out how to log into my freaking Apple Music on here. Oh, I used to love this song. That's how I feel today. I'm like, I need to get it out. Y'all know what I'm talking about? You ever feel like that where you just like, there's something. Let me stop embarrassing myself on this app. That's funny. Bookie, you know that comment's funny. That's comedy. Yo, that's hilarious. Anyway, I'm so tired of dating, friend. Talking stage keeps lasting like 3 weeks. Then they completely change. Lord, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Carol. What's up, friends? Happy Friday. Hi, Brittany. What's up, y'all? How's everybody's morning? Because my morning was crazy. It wasn't crazy. It was crazy to me. I had a lot going on. I put it on Close Friends. I opened up about some things on Close Friends this morning. I was boohooing too. I didn't show myself boohooing. You could just see I had been boohooing. You could see the tears in my eyes. But I was like snot-nosed Roscoe. Like, one of them. You don't know what I'm talking about. One of those cries. It's like you're just weeping. You're weeping. That was me this morning. You have beautiful teeth. Thank you so much. That was so nice. I'm so insecure about my freaking teeth. Thank you so much for saying that. God gonna send what you need when you need it. Hallelujah. Amen. Thank you. Anyway, let me find my notes, because I'm not talking about nothing in particular today, but y'all know through the week I just be writing notes through like in my I just be writing thoughts in my notes app, and so I figured on Fridays we can just start going over the random notes that I be typing out or whatever we talked about this week. I need to get my nails done. You so busy writing notes, you need to get your nails done. Look at my nails. Oh my God. Why did I just embarrass myself like this? I had to call myself out because every time I drink my water, you're going to see them, y'all. Anyway, the other day I was getting ham and cheese from the meat department at my job, and I had a half pound. Oh, stuck in my head instead of a quarter pound, which is, hold on, what I actually, my coworker even said. You do the good morning, wonderful people. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I need to get back on my press-ons. Man, I was doing gel. So, fun fact, I've always been a nail biter because I've always had really bad anxiety. And so to cope with that anxiety, I always bit my nails down real low, and I hated how it looked on me. Like, I was never a fan, but I couldn't stop. And so I would just do acrylics. And so I did acrylics. Like, I would just keep getting fill-ins for like 2.5 years straight. But then when I started my whole like reinvention, I was like, I don't really like that on me. I only did that to cope with my anxiety. And once my anxiety settled down, I was like, I wonder if I can grow my nails out. And so I did, and they got nice and long, and I loved them. And I started doing gel on top of my real nail to make it like stiffer, I guess, so they didn't break as easily. The problem is I don't keep up with them. God done sent you a blessing and you trying to fumble the bag, and all you have to do is go get your nails done. And so now the gel keep chipping, and then because I'm always in the gym, I be breaking them. It's a mess, y'all, all because I couldn't keep up with my, you know what, Let me not preach on it. I'm preaching. I'm preaching. Not realizing it, and I was going through telling him about it last night, but kept forgetting. Hopefully he works today. But no, I've never really done. Keep that ring finger ready. The ring finger ready. But it's like when you really see them in camera, they look worse. What is this one doing? No. I'm embarrassed. I should be embarrassed. Anyway, let me get to the point, because why am I doing this to myself? Why? That is so disgusting. Yeah, the nails are big for me. Although I will say, since losing a lot of weight, I really like my hands now. I know that's so random, but I feel like when you stick to your weight loss journey, you start to see certain parts of yourself that you never really noticed before. Like, I really like my hands. They're just like, I'm not going to show y'all now, because now they look disgusting, because I just called myself out. Anyway, also, I found it really fun that I get to keep moving the steering wheel down, because my thighs are going down so much that my steering wheel, I'm like, who moved my steering wheel? No, baby, you lost more weight. Come on. Hallelujah. Amen. And so now my steering wheel is like way down. That's been a fun one for me. See, people be so worried about the scale. Look for other small wins. That's what keeps me going. There's so many small wins that it's like, ooh, that's cool. Ooh, I really like that. Like, ooh, that's fun. Like, ooh, it's fun. Even PRs in the gym. I don't know if anybody needs any gym advice. I'm not no gym guru, but it has been fun for me to write down like how much I lifted in certain spaces, like keep track, like journal, but like for the gym, because hitting new PRs is so fun. And I never thought about it like that, because I've never been a gym girly before. Like, why do I care how much weight I'm lifting on that machine? Like, who cares? No, it's fun to watch. To be like, yeah, I was doing 85 over here last week, and now I'm at 100 something. Like, what? That's crazy. It's a blast. How much have you lost? Last time I checked, I was at 62 pounds, but I haven't checked in a little while. I don't really be on the scale like that. I feel like the scale for me is like a roller coaster. I got PTSD from the scale, because every time I tried to lose weight before, that's all I would focus on. I didn't have a why bigger than weight loss. And so I always felt like a failure when I would even gain like 0.5 pounds. Like, so I try to stay away from the scale. But last time I checked, I was at 60 pounds. Yeah, I really just try to go based on like PRs. Stamina's been a big one for me, especially jump roping. Y'all know I've talked about it before. My girl Mackenzie got me into jump roping. And now to see how much more and how much longer I can jump compared to the first time I did it, ooh, it keeps me motivated. It keeps me going. Anyway, I told you guys today I'm just gonna go through random notes that I put in my notes app through the week. Cause I don't know. I didn't really want to pick a topic today. I have so many thoughts. I have so many thoughts in my head. And we've done that before. Like the other day we did a whole live just with my notes. Cause I feel like God keeps waking me up, y'all. I don't know what he's up to, but I feel like God keeps waking me up at like 2 a.m. and I'm just laying there, just doing what? I don't even know, staring at the ceiling. And I keep having like all these thoughts going through my head. And so I just been jotting all my notes down in my app. And that's happened to me quite a few times throughout my journey, but it hasn't in a while. Like, I'll be sleeping like a baby. I'll be knocked out. And my alarm is set for 3:30. Like, what? Why are you waking me up earlier than my 3:30 alarm, God? That is foul. I'm just saying that is foul. What's funny to my aunt? I need my second hip-hop class last night. Oh, I did my second hip-hop class. Ooh, hip-hop classes are fun. I ain't got that much rhythm, child. I was just being real. But hip-hop classes are fun. I did Zumba a lot. I did hip-hop a couple times. They were really fun because you be so into the music and you just be getting it. You're not even thinking about how bad your thighs are burning. My thighs be burning. Anyway, keep some good stuff for tonight. Oh, yeah, y'all, tonight. Me and Mackenzie, my friend Mackenzie, we're going live tonight. We're going to do like is that what the invites be? People always trying to get added to my live. I never gone live with anybody, but we're going to do one tonight at 7 p.m. her time, which is CT. It's 8 p.m. our time, my time, which is EST. So yeah, is 8 p.m. and we're going to go live together. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited because we keep talking about dating, which is why I was laughing at the comment that I got. We've been talking about dating and like godly relationships and marriage and all of these things, but we keep having like the same thought processes. And we sitting here like, why are we talking like this when we could be on live? Like we could be sharing this with other people, like this wisdom that God keeps giving us, or these revelations we keep having. Why are we not sharing them with other people? So we're going to do live tonight, and then we'll post the replay on YouTube. We got to make sure we get off at a decent time, because if we stay on for 3 hours, it's not going to let us download that live. But we'll post a replay on YouTube. But for those that are available tonight, any of my followers that are available, we're going to go live at 8 p.m. tonight with some wine, and we're going to be chilling, vibing, talking about all things faith, God, dating, emphasis on dating. Because I got questions. Like, what's the point of like a boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic? I'm telling y'all, this has been on my mind so much. It has been on my mind so much. Like, what is the purpose in like a boyfriend and girlfriend? If we're talking like faith-based, like in a worldly relationship, I get it, because you have that partner, right? Like you have that person there to just vibe with. You have a road trip partner. Y'all know, if you be on my lives, we talk about the road trip analogy all the time. So a girlfriend and boyfriend dynamic would be a road trip partner, right? Why? What's the purpose in a road trip partner? Y'all, the invites to join live is crazy. I've never even gotten that many. Why y'all keep trying to request to go live with me? I'm not even talking about nothing. Why are you waiting in the car? I'm not waiting. I'm just chilling. But because there's a lot of people in there and I don't want to be in there. To get to know each other more, right? Yeah, so if you're just getting to know each other, what's the point in making it like official as far as like a commitment? I'm not telling anybody they're wrong. I'm just genuinely asking. I'm genuinely asking, like, what is the purpose? And if you're just getting to know each other, then why are you, especially if you don't even know that person fully yet, like if you're just getting to know them, then why are you so sure that you should be committing yourself to this person? Like, I don't know. I've been having a lot of thoughts on it lately. I've been scratching my head at it. You doing it? You're doing it. What I'm doing, friend. Anyway, that's not what the notes were about. That's what our live is about tonight. We're going to talk about it, the different perspectives on that. And, yeah, we got a whole lot to talk about. I ain't even going to talk about it. But just the gist of that will be on live tonight at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. CT. I think she's CT. I think she put it in the chat. 7 p.m. CT, 8 p.m. EST. All right. Anyway, my notes. I don't even know what's in my notes. We're just going to read it together, y'all. A lot of the random thoughts came from just like my 2 a.m. wake ups, or sermons that I watched, or podcasts that I've kind of tuned into throughout the week. I said, everybody don't want to grow because it costs too much. The same way people don't want to fly first class because of the cost, even knowing the benefits. Ugh. That was from a sermon. that wasn't me. But everybody don't want to grow because it costs too much. We low-key talked about that several times throughout this week on lives. Like, why don't people want to gain knowledge? Like, why don't people want to get better and grow and evolve? And this was yesterday, actually. I was like, I feel like people don't have a love for knowledge because once they know better, now they're required to do better. And that costs something, you know? But the way he put it, he said the same way people don't want to fly first class because of the cost. You know the benefits of first class. You're just not willing to pay the price to sit there. So you'd rather stay in coach where you can make it comfortable. You can convince yourself that it's comfortable, even though a lot of times you're sitting back there like, dang, the extra leg room would be really nice. You know, they be serving food. Yo, I got bumped to first class a few times. I used to fly standby all the time, right? Real quick, because I had a best friend that was a flight attendant, and so I would get to ride standby all the time, like anytime that I freaking wanted to. And so when I moved to Texas, I would fly standby to Ohio like every weekend. It was like driving at this point, like every single weekend. And so often they would bump me up to first class because they're like, we only got one seat left. It's first class. Do you want it? Do I want it? Do I want it? What are you talking about? And they were living up there, yo. They were living up there. We can really preach on this. We can really preach on this, because I never really thought to do what I had to do to make the money in order to afford first class, because I never experienced first class. So I never even knew what I was missing out on. And now that I see it, we could really preach a message on that. Because now that I saw it, like when I actually got to step into it and experience it, I was like, wait a second, this is way better than Coach. Like, this has way more benefits than Coach does. This is worth the price. This is worth the cost of the ticket. Oh my gosh. Anyway, he said, even knowing the benefits, a lot of us don't want to grow because it costs too much. Like, we know the cost, but you've never actually tasted it. You've never got an actual glimpse or an actual feeling or an actual taste of happiness or peace or joy of any kind, right? Like, we think we've seen happiness based on, we have road trip partners. But if you've never been in that car with the person that you're aligned with, a person that's actually fueling you and benefiting you, and you guys have like a bond in an actual relationship. Like, if you've never been in that car with somebody that you're safe with, then you don't even know what you're missing out on. That's so crazy to think about. Ooh, Jesus. You are definitely a blessing. Oh, thank you so much. I am in Louisiana, so what time would it be for me? I don't know, friend. I ain't never been there. It's 7 p.m. CT, and it's 8 p.m. EST. So I'm in Ohio. Are you in the same? What time zone are you in? I don't know. Get it? You saying that thing? Oh my God. Hey, what's up, friend? So saying happy birthday to you. We're picking 2 or 3 of them to do it. What was I talking about? Oh, even knowing the benefits of the first class. That was, I will tell you, that was a sermon from Brian Bullock. It's Bullock, Brian Bullock, on YouTube. It was his latest one. That's my home church in Charlotte. And I love him. I love the church. I love the vibe. I love all of it. But I randomly tuned into one of his sermons, his last sermon. And that's what he was talking about. He said, everybody don't want to grow because it costs too much. So it's not that they don't want it. They just don't want to pay the price to get it, right? It's not that you don't want to fly first class. You know you want to fly first class even if you never have. But it costs too much. You're not willing to pay the price. And that's okay. That's okay. But, and he related that to life, and it was so good. Hey, what does CT mean? Central time? Is that what time zone is she in? Okay, thanks. I got it. Where are you? I'm in Ohio. Did you see all of my comments that went with that? Yeah, but I couldn't keep up, friend. I was trying to read them. Something about happy birthday, and yeah, I couldn't keep up, but I did try. But I'm in Ohio. I'm EST time zone. So it's 8 p.m. my time. It's 7 p.m. for CT. Why are we so confused like this? Why am I so confused like this? So for those that are just hopping on, me and my friend Mackenzie, we're going live tonight together. And we're going to talk about all things like faith and godly relationships, godly marriages. And what is the purpose in having a boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic if you're in search of a purposeful marriage? Like, what is the purpose in that? Not that we're for it or against it. We're just going to chat back and forth, because it seems like we're having a lot of the same thoughts on it. Like, we're both in the same type of season when it comes to that. Because those of you that have followed me, y'all know I've said the whole year that I know who my person is. Like, nobody can convince me that man is not my person. He himself couldn't even convince me of that, because it just makes too much sense. But I also tell you guys that I'm single. And there's been a lot of people questioning me, like, what do you mean? That doesn't make sense. Yes, it does make sense. And so now when Mackenzie was bringing up situations like that, and we started, talking to God about it separately, and then brought our thoughts back together, we're like, wait a second, why are we on the phone talking about this? And we could be going live talking about this. So we're going to go live tonight. That's what we keep talking about. 7 p.m. CT, so her time, and 8 p.m. EST, my time. So if it's 9, if it's 10, if it's 10:03 right now, your time, then we're going to go live tonight at 8 p.m. I don't know about any other. You gotta look that up. I don't know about no other time zones, baby. I had to learn this thing you talking by getting a separation. That price was worth it. Ooh. To be honest, Chelsea, I haven't been productive the last few days. That's okay. Self-awareness. Get back on it. 8 p.m. EST. Be there, y'all. Yes. All right. My next note was, don't let where you are stop you from becoming who you need to be to make it to where you're going. I don't know where that one came from. I don't remember if it was a sermon or what, but it was a good thought. Don't let where you are right now stop you from becoming who you need to be to make it to where you're going. I think that a lot of times, for me, I can only speak from my experience, of course, but for me, a lot of times I view where I'm at as permanent. Like, because I get so in my head that I'm like, I can't become who I'm supposed to become in order to make it to where I'm going, because I'm so stuck with where I'm at right now. Like, I sit there and I have a pity party. I'm like, oh, I wish I had this right now. I don't have this right now. So this is hindering me. This is stopping me. This is slowing me down. Like, I could be here if I had this. Like, instead of utilizing every single thing that I have right now in this moment, use whatever you got. Whatever you got to use right now, use that and utilize that in order to continue to become, right? You're not supposed to just wake up tomorrow and be the person that God needs you to be in the long run. Like, he's going to mold you and form you into that person. And in order for God to do that, you have to be willing to use what it is that you have right now. We talked about this when it comes to the car. Actually, somebody just asked me about the car. Somebody had asked me on one of the lives, and I think that they were being nasty, but I gave a genuine answer. They were like, why are you preaching in the car or something like that? Like all the TikTok preachers that be in the car. And I was like, first of all, Karen, no, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. But I understood the question. Like, I got what they were saying. And I was like, listen, to be real with you, I don't have everything that I know God is bringing me into, if that makes sense. When God called me, God did not call me and say, hey, I have this really big calling on your life. I have this really big vision for your life. This is what you're going to be. But start as soon as you have everything that you need. No, he said, start right now. Start right this second. If you need to sit in the car, sit in the freaking car. Like, who cares? What does it matter? You don't need every single thing. You have everything that you need, by the way. Just saying, you don't need every single thing that you want in order to start going after what it is that you're going after. Like, just start now. Start with what you have. Put your freaking phone up. You don't need a camera. You don't need nothing. Like, put your phone up if you're into content creation or God's calling you to that or whatever. Like, use what it is that you have right now in order to start walking on the path to becoming. That's what it's all about. It's all about the journey. You'll get exactly what you need. God will always give you what you need. You're just so stuck on what you don't have as far as what you want, but you have everything that you need. And I had to really talk myself into that. Like, I had to really remind myself of that throughout the journey. It's like, I know that I want this. I know that I want this. Like, I want the aesthetic house back. Like, I loved my house. When God told me to leave my house, I said, who? I'm not trying to leave my crib. Like, what? My cute little aesthetic 3-bedroom household. Like, I was so upset, but I didn't need that in that moment. And so for a while, those first few months after I heard God calling me somewhere, I remember arguing back and forth with God. I'm like, I know you want me to do X, Y, and Z, and I'll do that once I make it here. Once I get my house back. Once I get my safe space back. Once I get the aesthetic clothes. Once I get the hairstyle that I like. Like, once I lose all the weight, then I'll start filming. Then I'll start creating. And God's like, stop playing with me. I didn't call you to do that. I did not call you and say, hey, once you receive all of these things, once you get everything you want, then start walking in your calling. No. I'm telling y'all, God convicted me so bad. I snapped out of it quick. I was like, bet, we about to start filming. I don't know why we filming. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what I got to say, but we just gonna prop the camera up. My broken little phone. I got a new phone since then. Hallelujah. Amen. But I started with a broken phone. Like, it kept cutting out. I was going into the gym. I didn't have no gym clothes. Like, I was so tired all the time. I was crying in the car. I didn't know what the heck. Like, y'all, if y'all have followed my journey, I've recorded all of it. My whole TikTok, if you scroll all the way down, there's actually a tab at the top. If you click like where it all began or something, you can see my very first video. Like, I didn't know why I was recording. And it's funny, in that very first video, I was like, y'all, I said, am I crazy in this feeling? But I just randomly woke up and I just had like the wildest realization that I've been living as a half-ass version of myself. That's what I said in the video. I be watching my mouth nowadays, but that's what I said in the video. I was like, this is like the scariest thing ever, but I fully realized that I have been living my entire life as a half-ass version of myself. And I was like, I was crying in the video. I'm like, bro, I got all these gifts, like all these talents, all these things that I'm just sitting on. Like, I'm just wasting them. They're just sitting there because I'm too scared to go after anything. Like, ooh, it's crazy. It's so crazy to think about that video, because when I tell y'all, I had no idea what I was doing. I ain't never thought about being no freaking content creator. I don't like to be in the camera. I was always the girl behind the scenes. I was the hype girl, the hype woman. I'm like, hey, you look good. Come on, film yourself. Let me get the picture. Let me get the angles right. Like, I was that friend. I didn't like the attention. I definitely don't like the spotlight. So I didn't know what the heck God was calling me to do. I definitely never thought that a year and a half later, I would be on here sharing my testimony as freely as I do. What the heck? I started with like random gym content and I didn't even know what I was doing in the gym. God just said, put your phone up. And I was like, bet. And I think that's the beautiful part about submitting to the process, as in staying obedient. When God calls you to do something, even if it doesn't make sense, and you start to actually do it, you see how intentional everything is. Like, everything is for a reason. Everything is part of the plan. And I know people say that, but to experience it is a whole nother thing, boy. When you actually stay obedient and then a year later you see how it all played out, you're like, oh, I get why I went through that. I get why I did that. I get why God led me to do that. Like, everything starts to make so much sense. And then you just feel so grateful. It's like you can't even, there's no going back after that. We are picking 2 or 3 of them. Hold on. A candle and wait. God put that word in you up here for me. Oh my God, amen. Okay, period, amen. Thank you for being here. I'm back. Welcome back. Oh my God, stop this one. This was so me. Oh my gosh. Positively does not equate to faith. I didn't say that it did, friend. I did not say that it did, but love does. Love equates to faith. Who is God? What is God? I mean, it don't take that much diving into the Bible to understand that God is love. So if positivity, love, peace, joy, what is that? What is that then? Do you think it's just a feeling? I mean, no hate to you if you believe that, but I'm just saying, like, what is that then? Anyway, my last note was, don't let where you are stop you from becoming who you need to be to make it to where you're going. That one was personal, that next one, so I ain't even gonna read that. Although I will. I don't have to make it personal, but just speaking in general, that random note, I was talking about how in relationships or even in dating, whatever, I had never felt intimacy outside of the bedroom, which is why I equated love to sex. Obviously, I'm talking about the old version of myself. I've done a lot of work, but I only experienced love in the bedroom. Like, when I thought of what love was, I thought of physical, like I thought of sex. I mean, I'm just being real. I've never been like mentally stimulated. It's always been sexual in my mind. And I just think that it's crazy that when you really find somebody that you're aligned with and you really get to know somebody in a real raw way, it's like you guys can sit there and have actual conversations, and you can leave that space feeling stimulated, feeling like you feel that intimacy in the room even without him ever touching you. And that's like the wildest. I mean, that's like such a wild experience to me. I don't know if that's like not a new thing to y'all. Maybe y'all been doing that your whole life and I've been tripping. But I'd never been mentally even attracted to somebody, because I never looked at it like that. I was sexualizing everybody. Like, even when I was having a conversation with the man, I'd be like, ooh, either you're fine or you're not. Like, I wasn't thinking about his mindset. What? I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was sexualizing him. That's crazy. But yeah, I said I never felt what it's like to be mentally stimulated. When you leave someone's space and you feel on top of the world, but he didn't touch you physically. He didn't have to have sex with you to make you feel seen or wanted. As I said, that one's a little personal, but it is also, I mean, it's real. Like, I never had experienced that before. The only time I would leave a man's space feeling good was if we had sex. The only time I would feel loved or wanted is if he was physically touching me. I never felt wanted based on my mindset. I never have been in a relationship where I'm like, he wants to be with me because we connect mentally, we connect emotionally. It was always only physical, which is why I put sex first on the list. I only thought about sex because I equated sex to love. I never saw it as anything else. Anyway, positivity is a feeling. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I think positivity is a mindset. Like it's a heart posture. I mean, I think it's deeper than just a feeling, but you're not wrong. Yeah, well, I think it's deeper than that, but I think everything's deeper than that. So, yeah. You're right. You're right. A random note throughout the week. I said, do you even want that? Or does society tell you should want that and so you go after it? This one, honestly, I was in deep thought about this one. I'm surprised that that's all I wrote. There was a lot of times I thought about that throughout this week because I think that for me, the world built me. The world built my standards, like I never sat down and was like, what do I want for my life? Like, what do I want? Who am I? Like, I let all of my experiences build me. And not that that's bad, but I let all of my worldly experiences, for example, let me tell you an example. We were talking about dating. And Mackenzie, if she's still on here, me and Mackenzie were talking about dating. And we were talking about how we have certain standards based on what the world says a relationship should be, right? So if they say, okay, you need to be going on dates, like don't let the man in your house, go on dates and do X, Y, and Z. Now we're dating with that standard. But have we ever sat down and thought that for ourselves? Like, have we ever sat down and been like, I really like expensive dates. Like, I really enjoy expensive dates. And so now I'm requiring a man to take me on expensive dates because that's what I genuinely want. I never did that. I was like, I need to go on dates because that's just what the standard is. That's just what society says a relationship is, like dating wise. That's what society says I need to want. Like, that's just the right way of the world, right? And dating is just a small example, but it's been like that in my life in a lot of aspects. Like, I didn't necessarily think about what I actually wanted or what I needed or even what God wanted or needed for me. I was just trying to please the world instead of trying to please myself or please God. Like, I was just out here trying to please all these strangers, which actually brings me to, I saw this Instagram thing. It was Denzel Washington, and he was talking about social media. Ooh, it was so good, y'all. Oh, you're here. Hi. Well, social media. He said social media is a tool, so we should use it. He said social media uses us because we have no discipline. And this is his quote. He said, God blessed us with free will, but now it's free will magnified, free will on steroids. You're free to go in any direction you want. It's not the enemy. It's just a reflection of our own free will. And I thought it was crazy because we were just talking about social media yesterday because so many people are like, I'm going on a social media break in the new year. Like, I'm going to, stay completely away. I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to da-da-da-da. And I'm like, but why? Because social media is the best tool that we have. Like, we have all the information that we need right there at our fingertips. The problem is you lack self-discipline. So, and you're not gaining self-discipline by completely going cold turkey from something. You need to build that self-discipline within you to be like, okay, it's not the app that's the problem. It's what I'm exposing myself to on the app that's the problem. That's a you thing, baby. That ain't got nothing to do with social media. Social media is a tool. So how we use it is up to us. Like, social media is so good for me because I use it for positivity. Like I told you guys, I have collections. I have constant growth, from social media because social media is knowledge. The problem is not social media, baby. The problem is you. What are you exposing yourselves to? You're following all these BS pages. Your first thing that you see on Instagram is Shade Room. Why? Ain't no hate to the Shade Room, but what are you gaining from that? Like, when you're constantly watching these things, and we do it for hours. We do it for hours a day, like all day long. And you're not exposing yourself to any positivity, but then you blame social media. And so at the end of the year, when you realize that you spent months probably just dedicated to watching other people live their life, now you're blaming the app. So you're like, oh, I have to get away from TikTok. TikTok's bad for me. No, you are bad for you. That was a big one, but I'm just saying that was deep, but I'm just saying, like, it's us. And when we realize that it's us, not to blame ourselves, but to hold ourselves accountable. Like, social media was never the problem for me. I was so cute. No, for real. I had to sit, and if you heard my story before, I've said this many times, like I had to sit on that bathroom floor and realize that I was the problem. Like it was me. I was the one making the decisions that I was making. It was not all my circumstances. It wasn't all outside of my control. I had so much more control than I knew. Why was I not making better decisions? Like you're not even giving yourself a fighting chance. You wake up in the morning and you're automatically complaining. So you're already going into negative mode. You don't have a routine set up for yourself that's bringing you any type of positivity at all. Not to mention me, I'm really speaking for myself. If you resonate, then it's for you too, but it's really for my old self. I would wake up and the first thing on my mind was my son. Is that a bad thing? No, not necessarily, because he's a top priority. However, I have an identity outside of my child. I'm not just a mother. And that's another society thing. Society makes us feel like as women, we have to be 100% invested in our children, have no outside life, have no outside thoughts, have no outside priorities, or you're a bad mom. Jail. That's crazy. That's horrible. Because I'm nothing to him if I'm nothing to me. So why am I a better mother for prioritizing and pouring every drip of everything that I have into my child if I'm empty? Because I can't, what I have to offer him, even if it's 100% of every drip that I have, if I don't have no drips, then he's getting nothing. Like, this is not rocket science, I feel like. And people be making me sound like I'm crazy. And I'm like, bro, that makes sense in my head. Now, I'm just little old Chelsea, so don't take my word like it's facts, but that makes sense to me. Like, I'm a better mother giving my son 50% of what I have because my 50% of my full cup is more than 100% of my empty cup. This makes sense. What? I gave my son 100% of everything that I had, but I didn't have anything. I had nothing. Like, I was depressed as all get out. My night routine was to cry on the bathroom floor. I would tuck my son into bed. I'd be like, I love you so much. We had such a great day. We did puzzles all day and we played all day. I taught you stuff all day. Didn't do anything for Chelsea at all day. And then I put him to bed and I go cry on the floor because I'm miserable. And we think that that's being a good parent. How? Because he gets the depressed version of me. He gets the worst version of myself. But because that's 100%, now I'm a good mother. Now, I'm not trying to tell nobody that they're a good or bad parent. That's not my place. That's not my business. I'm just speaking for myself. I am a much better mother because I prioritize myself. He does not get 100% of me. He doesn't need 100% of me. He only needs 50% because my 50% is top tier, whereas my 100% was horrible. My 50% is the absolute best version of myself. Why? Because I prioritize me. My first thought in my mind is God. My second thought in my mind is me, Chelsea. My son's asleep. He don't need me right now. He's in the most peaceful state. It's me time. It's me time. 3:30 a.m. When that alarm goes off. Don't feel like you have to do that. That's just my routine. Don't do that. People's eyes be like, 3:30, hold on. They be like, I was following you, but 3:30? So just a disclaimer, you don't have to have the same routine as me. But when that 3:30 alarm goes off, I thank God for waking me up, truly. And I know people say that, but I'm being very serious because I know that I was once on that bathroom floor. So my first thought in my head is, thank God I'm not on the bathroom floor. Like, thank God I have a reason to get up right now. That'd be the first thought. And then the second thought is me. I'm like, okay, let's get it. Let's go. We're after something. Come on. And so I get right up. I hit the gym. I take my sweet time. I hit the gym. I sit outside the gym. I put my phone up. I do the little daily reminders because I always got some type of deep thought in my mind. Why am I not sharing it? You know? So I do the daily reminders. Follow me on Instagram for that. And then I hit the gym. Go hard. Go hard. I mean, I give it all I got. Sometimes that's a lot. Sometimes that's a little. But it's still all I got that day. Then I leave the gym. I go have Bible study. What? I am up for like 5 hours. I am awake for 5 hours before I have to clock into mom mode. That's crazy. When before I would go to bed with my son and I would wake up with my son. And then you wonder why you're miserable. You're miserable because you're only a mother. You have no identity outside of motherhood whatsoever. And then you wonder why you feel empty. You're giving 100% of everything that you have to a child. And again, people be getting their pennies in a wad when we have the motherhood conversation. That's why I be kind of steering clear sometimes, because I be getting messages and I'm like, pipe down. Nobody's telling you to neglect your children. You missed the message, Karen. You missed it. Nobody's saying that. My son is a huge priority in my life, but he does not have to be the number one thing on my mind 24/7 for me to be a good parent. He doesn't have to, because I have enough mental capacity to love me and to love him. I can love me unconditionally and love him unconditionally. I fill my cup so much so that I don't have to choose between the two. That makes me a better mother. Me personally, I can't speak for none of y'all, but me personally, I was not a good mother. I was not as good of a mother as I am today when my cup was so empty that I had to choose who gets a drip. Who gets a drop of this? Who gets it? I have to choose, bro. I only had a little bit of liquid in the cup. So now I'm like, okay, I have to divide it somehow. And if I have to divide that little bit, I'm going to give it all to my child because he deserves more than the little bit that he's getting. So then I was giving all of it to him and I was empty. And I felt like a good mother, of course, because I'm giving him everything. Yeah, but you don't have to. You don't have to do that. Nobody's calling you to do that. We honestly are called to pour into our own self so that we can have a full cup, so that I can get all the drops that I need and he can get all the drops that he needs too. And what's really crazy is that I pour into my cup so much that I now have the capacity to love me, him, and a man. I mean, that's absurd. I'm just saying, when you fill your cup so much that you can love yourself unconditionally, as in I will put myself before anybody. Like I will cut everybody off before I ever lose myself again. That's how much I pour into my own self. That's how much I truly give a crap about my own being. But I also love my son unconditionally. I'm stepping in front of any bullet. No questions asked. What are we talking about? Like I don't even have to think twice about that. I love him unconditionally to be able to prioritize him on a daily basis. But I pour into myself and into God so freaking much that I now have the capacity to love the man that God sent me. Like, that's crazy. That is so crazy to me, because I was once in a position where I couldn't love myself and my son at the same time. I had to choose between the two. And then I sat around thinking that life was just so horrible and life was supposed to be like that because that's what being a mother is. And I should have chose my baby dad differently, and I should have made better choices. Great. Yay. We freaking know that. We know that, but you can't go back. You can only go forward. And with that fact, with that knowing, what are you going to do moving forward to get you into a better position? I cannot go back and choose my son's father different. Would I, if I could? Yes. Yeah, I hate to say that because no hate to that man, but man, co-parenting is the hardest part of my life. Truly. It's the hardest part of my life. And it takes so much healing for me to still pray for this man, bro. For me to pray over him, because I know that my son deserves a good father. And for, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took so much healing and it's still so difficult. It's still the hardest part of my life. If I could go back and choose somebody else, I would. And I'm sure he would say the same thing, but I can't. So what can I do moving forward? I can be the best mother that I can be. I can show my son who God is through me. I can work on myself so that my son can benefit from my healing. I can pray over his father. I can pray over him. I can pray over everybody. Like, I can cover him instead of down talking him, because I know he needs prayer. We all need prayer, but you know what I mean? Like, we cannot go back. So get up off the freaking floor. That's what I had to tell myself. I was like, Chelsea, get up. You're not doing anything. Like, if y'all have heard my testimony before, that was really it. I had to like shake myself. I'm like, bro, stop. Like, I got so mad at me. I'm like, you've been sitting here for 2.5 years. What are you doing? Like, you're going to be exactly where you are right now in the next 2 years if you don't get up. Like, just get up and try something. Like, do anything. And if you've heard my testimony, that's where, after that, like, I looked myself in the mirror and literally said all that. I said a lot of other things, of course. I was just like, get over it. Like, come on. Like, you've been so nice to yourself for however long. Like, you want to baby yourself as if you're, like, as in have a pity party. Like, you're a victim. Okay, we get it. He was a clown. We get it. You're hurt. Okay. What are you going to do about it? Like, he can't fix you. Your friends can't fix you. Nothing. Your child can't even fix you. Like, you need to work on yourself. And then that's when I said that real prayer. Well, actually, that's when I said, okay, honestly, I'm about to give up. And I was like, I'll give myself like 30 days. But after this, I'm gone. Like, I don't want to do this. And that was a really hard realization. That's when I really got pissed at myself. Like I said, I've shared these stories so many times because it's my story. It's my life. It's my testimony. But I got really mad at myself this one particular night because I was having such negative thoughts. And I was like, there's no reason for me to be here. Like, why am I doing this? Like, I had so many scary thoughts in my head. And I got so mad. I was like, Chelsea, win. If you truly think that your life has been so miserable that it's okay to take this little boy's mother away, you lost it. Like, you lost your mind. Go find it immediately. And that thought, like, I'm telling you, it's like I can't even say that or tell that story without getting chills, because I hear my son snoring in the bed. Like, I can smell the room. Like, I smell the scent. We had a candle burning a little bit before, so I can smell the room. Like, I hear the silence in the room. Like, it was so real, bro. And my son was just sitting there snoring, and I'm like, bro, how dare you? Like, you lost it. You lost it. Like, you had such a pity party, and you convinced yourself that life was so bad that you're going to make his life hell. And this is like, I prayed for this child. What are you talking about? This was not no oopsies. I prayed for this little boy. So you're going to block your blessings. You're going to ruin your blessings. You're going to sabotage something that God sent you because you're sad that life didn't turn out how you wanted it to turn out. Like, that's crazy. Y'all, I got so mad at myself. That's not even what we were talking about today. But maybe somebody needed that because, I was so mad. And I needed that. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you need to hit rock bottom to see how low you are to get your butt up. Like, and to even realize that you have the power to do that. Like, it was at rock bottom that I found myself. Like, rock bottom saved my entire life. Truly. I was just down there like, oh, it's me. Hi. Like, I'm the problem. It's me. And so I sat there with that mindset, with that knowing that I made so many decisions to lead to my downfall. And then I was like, hold on. It was like, I didn't know God at the time. I didn't know God at all at the time, really. But something like clicked in my head. It was like God literally screamed at me and was like, when you realize you're the problem, you realize you're the solution. And I was like, wait a second, did I just save my whole life? Like, I just freed my whole self? Like, because I was on the floor crying. Like, I'm like, Chelsea, you did this to you. You did this to you. You've been horrible to yourself. You lied to yourself here. You stayed in that relationship. You knew what you was doing. Don't do that. Like, I was so hard on myself. Like, just not even hard, but being raw. Be honest. Quit lying. You lying to yourself. You're trying to convince yourself that you've been happy. You have, and you've been miserable. You're trying to convince yourself that it wasn't you, that you haven't lied to yourself. No, you're lying. You're lying. Yo, I'd be so triggered because why? You're lying to yourself. You wonder why even when you sit alone, you don't have any growth. You're not evolving at all. It's because you're lying to yourself. I had never sat down in that mirror and been like, I knew that man was lying. I knew that man was cheating. I knew that God told me not to be with that man from jump, and I stayed. Like, I knew that. Instead, you convince yourself that you didn't know, so that the hit doesn't feel as bad, so that it doesn't hurt as much. Like, but then you sit there for years convincing yourself of a lie to the point you know you're a liar. Like, you don't even like you because you've been lying to yourself for freaking years. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, when I sat there and was like, oh, you're a liar, Chelsea. You're very nice to everybody else. You're the best friend. Truly. You're a great friend to everybody. You're trash to you. You're horrible. You're horrible to yourself. And I'm telling you, when I looked in my mirror and said that, I was like, bet. Now let's fix it. If I'm the one that did it, then I'm the one that fixes it. And the problem is we get so overwhelmed with that realization because we think that, okay, I'm just the problem and now I have no control over fixing it and I'm just stuck like this. I'm stuck with the cards I was dealt. I'm stuck with the cards that I played for myself. Like, I'm just stuck. No, you're not. You're stuck if you continue to stay stuck in that mindset, but you have so much more power than you think. If you can realize that you're the problem, you can realize how much you are the solution. make a solution, write things down. What's the solution to this? What's the solution to this? Okay, I've been a liar to myself for my whole life. Okay, stop lying. Like, this is practice not to lie. Like, practice being honest to yourself. Build that friendship with yourself. And I'm telling you, after that, I just cut everything off. Like, I was done. Again, if you've never heard my story, I share it all the time. Like, this is all I talk about all the time. Not really. We dig into many deep topics, but I'm not scared to share my testimony because I overcame it. So, I mean, my story is ridiculous. My story is crazy. I be listening back to my story like, what? Because that was the night after I got really hard on myself. Then I got on my knees and said that prayer. And I've been honest about that. I didn't say a prayer with faith. I mean, I must have had the faith of a mustard seed. I had a little bit of hope. Cross my fingers, like, let's see what happens with this. But when I actually said that prayer with my son right there snoring, I was ready to check out. I was like, this is the last thing I have to do on my little list. This is it. And then I'll feel better being able to sit there and say, I tried it all. Like, I tried everything and it didn't work. So I said that prayer. And the next day, I mean, my entire life was completely different. I always chuckle when I say that because it sounds so crazy. And it is, bro. Everything about me was different. My mindset was different. Just the way that I thought about life in general was completely different. I like looked around my house and was like, ooh, I don't know who the heck I've been for these 4 years that I've been chilling in this crib, but pack it up. Like, let's go. Like, it was like that. I didn't even have to force myself to change. It was like I was so different that I felt like a stranger in the world that I had created for myself. That was a bar. I never said it like that, but that's true. I felt like a complete stranger in this world that I had created for myself. I had the house, I had the child, I had the job, I had the business even. I had the whole small business. It was successful, bro. I was successful. Like, and I was like, no, this is not it. I don't know what the heck I was thinking, but this is so far away from the person that I'm supposed to be. And I threw it all away. It sounds so crazy to say it like that because I can't give it to you nothing but straight. Like, I can sugarcoat it and be like, well, things started to change after that. No, I threw it all away. I packed my whole house up in 10 days. Like, I was like, let's go wrap it up. This is not me. If I got to break a lease, I'll break a lease. If I got to pay some money, I'll pay some money. Like, I ain't tripping. Like, mind you, the details in it all was beautiful. It was all God. Like, I just ironically happened. My lease had ironically happened to expire. And so they were like, oh, you're fine. Leave in 30 days. Huh? I've been here for 4 years. What do you mean it's expired? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it was so crazy. But I did. We packed up our house. We had 30 days to get out, but we left in like 10 or 15. I threw so much away. I had my sister and her friends come over with bags. I'm like, take everything you want. I don't care. Like, go through the closet, see what fits you. Take everything. I don't really care. Like, so many people just came over and took a bunch of stuff. We donated. Oh my gosh. I think it was like 25 or 26 bags it ended up being that we donated to Goodwill. I just donated all my stuff, threw so much stuff away. Like, I was like, it's gone. Like, just throw it all out. Throw the whole thing away. The whole world that I had created for myself, throw it all out. I want to completely start over. And that's when I moved into my parents' house. It was 10 days before my 29th birthday. And I was, oh my gosh, I was boohoo crying. I was like, yo, I don't know why I feel like this is my new beginning because people are looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, why would you leave your 3-bedroom house with your child and go back to your parents, like, willingly, like, just voluntarily? Like, okay. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me either, honestly. But for some reason, I just got like this fire up under me. And I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm starting over. Like, I just want to start fresh. Let's just go after something bigger than this. And I chopped all my hair off. Like, y'all, it was so different. And then this was a year and a half ago. I'm 30 now. So it wasn't that long ago. I'm only 30 now. So a year and a half ago. Ooh, that's crazy. And life has been crazy since then, honestly. If you haven't followed my story, if you need the update, you're like, wait, where does it end? I spent the last year and a half completely reinventing myself head to toe. I've been in the gym 6 days a week. I changed my friend circle. I changed my job. I quit my job altogether. That's crazy to say, actually. Quit my job altogether and just dove all in with content creation. So that's all I do. Like, I write. I'm a writer. I've published some ebooks. I do online stuff. It's crazy to think about where life is now compared to where I was at that point. And that's why, it's a number one question still to this day is, how do I stay so consistent? And I'm like, what? If you knew where I was, you would know how I stay so consistent. Like, there's no question. There's no like, do I want to get up this morning? No, it's a simple fact that I literally a year and a half ago, now I'm about to get emotional, but a year and a half ago, I was truly on the bathroom floor. Like, I know people downplay depression nowadays, but truly, like, it was like my mind and my physical were on two different pages. Like, mentally, I knew there was more to life than that. But physically, it was like I couldn't do it. Like, I didn't have any motivation to do anything. I was just sitting there, like, living out the rest of my life as if I was done. I was living dead before I died. Ooh, my God. That was really deep if you didn't let that go over your head. And a lot of us are doing that. Not to trigger nobody, but a lot of us are living as if we're dead way before we die. You're not dead, clearly. If you sitting here watching me, you clearly not dead. And what does that mean? That means you still have more opportunity to go get better. Like, go make a change then. If you don't like your life, go fix it. No, you can't fix it overnight, but you can. You can change your mindset. You can put better practices into play. You can change your routine. You can sit down right now and get a pen and paper out and completely change your routine. Change your routine. If you look at your routine, if you hate your life, look at your routine right now, write it down. And first of all, realize that if you stick to that routine for the rest of your life, you're going to stay in the same exact place. So change the routine. What can you implement tomorrow in your routine to get you closer to becoming the version of yourself that you're supposed to be, instead of the version of yourself that the world created you to be? Because obviously, y'all know, in the past year and a half, I've gotten so into my faith. I'm like, listen, I never thought I would be one of them Bible thumpers. But what? When you experience it, it ain't about scripture. What are you talking about? It's a feeling. It's a simple fact that I knew myself before God. And I could not be where I'm at today without it. I'm just saying. I tried. I lived my whole life without God. I thought that I had the strength to be whoever I wanted to be, and I didn't. I failed miserably. I failed so many times. It's not about scripture. It's not about believing in the resurrection and all these things. You don't have to do all that at the very start. I feel like that's how people start. They get religious with it, and they're like, oh, I have to read about the resurrection, and I have to read about Jesus Christ, and I have to read about all these things. Go sit down by yourself. That's what you need to do. Because the crazy thing about God is he will reveal himself to you. Just sit down. He's been trying to reveal himself to you the whole time. You just can't hear because you're too distracted trying to save yourself. I've talked about this. I gave the analogy of the ocean. This randomly came in my head because I haven't said this in a while, but living my life in depression, where I just told you guys I was, it felt like I was in the middle of the ocean. That's the best way that I can explain it. That makes sense. It felt like I was in the middle of the ocean, and I kept trying to come up for air. Like I would like get my head just above, and I'd be like, and then fall right back down, like constantly, bro. This was my every single day life. My daily routine was just trying to get enough strength to come up for air a little bit so that I can continue on, And I'm telling you, the second that I said that prayer, it truly, like, I could feel it. I know it sounds crazy for those that don't get it, but those that get it, you get it. Those that I'm actually speaking to, you get what I'm saying right now. When I got the strength to just literally put my little hand up a little bit, just a little bit, God was like, zoop. God was like, oh, that's all I needed. Now, he didn't just put me in the sand with some margaritas and a bikini. No, but he flipped me over. And so now I'm floating. That's my analogy for it all the time. I'm floating. I'm still in the middle of the ocean. I'm getting closer and closer to the sand, but I'm still struggling with a lot of storms. I still got a lot of mountains that I'm climbing, but it's beautiful, bro. The mountain is beautiful. Like, trust me, I'm tired. There's been a lot of storms. There's been a lot of trials. There's been a lot of tests. There's been so many attacks, but I'm floating. And when you're floating, you can see the sky. That's why I'm in love with the sky. People know that about me. I just posted on Instagram this morning. I post the sunrise all the time. I'm obsessed. I don't know why. I do know why. But I've never been a sky type of person. People will be like, look at the sunrise. I'm like, pretty. Like, okay. It's a constant reminder that I'm floating. It's a constant reminder that I'm no longer drowning, because when you're drowning, you can't see that sky. When you're drowning, you can't see the beauty in anything because you're too busy trying to get your life. Like, you're too busy trying to survive. And that's what I'm saying. I didn't lift my hand out that water because I was too busy trying to catch my breath. And when you realize you don't have to have the strength to catch your breath, the only thing you need is the strength to put your little hand up there just a little bit, a finger. It's biblical truth. You only need the faith of a mustard seed. You don't even need to get your whole body out there. Just a little bit. Just a little finger up above that water. And God's going to pull you right on up. I'm trying to tell you. I don't know how I became a Bible thumper like that. It happened overnight. I was just having a conversation with my guy yesterday. And I was like, it was like I could feel myself about to speak about the Bible. But I've never been that person. Like, I hated Bible thumpers. I'm just being real. I have a lot of church hurt. I grew up in a Baptist church, and it was all bad. And they quizzed you on the Bible all the daggone time. Like, you had to memorize scripture to prove that you were a Christian. It was like ridiculous. But anyway, so I hated the Bible thumpers because I always felt like they thought they were better than me type thing. Like, you feel like you have a better relationship with God because you can quote certain scriptures, verses, as if that, so I could feel myself wanting to say something about scripture yesterday. And so I told him, I was like, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm about to put some Bible on it, because we were having a deep conversation. I was like, I don't know if you ever seen it, but Job in the Bible, that happened to him. And I was just like, in that moment, I was like, who the heck did I become? Like, but in the most beautiful way, bro. Like, it's not even in a bad way, like, wow, I became that person. No, it's like I dove into faith so much that I can literally teach about God in the most chill, relaxed type of way. That's crazy. The person that just really prayed that prayer so that I could quit, so that I could give up. I'm now the person that's like, no, have you ever heard of Job? Because that's what happened there. Or I can like put scripture, I can put references or parables on certain instances to give examples. Because we were talking about attacks. We were talking about attacks and tests. And I was like, Job in the Bible got everything taken from him, and he still stood on faith. And what's crazy about that story is, if you never heard it, God allowed the enemy to take certain things from Job. Everything. It ended up being everything. He took everything from Job. And he kept saying, God was like, take that from him, because he's still going to stand in faith. Like, he's still going to ride for me. Y'all know I'm saying it not to be disrespectful, but that's how I take it in my mind. Like, God was like, go ahead and take everything. Take his house away. He gonna ride for me still, because he has faith. I know he's experienced me. So he's not gonna switch up on me. Like, take it away. And so he allowed the enemy to take everything away. And Job still, not that he didn't question ever, but he still stood on faith. And so I brought that up yesterday in conversation, because we were talking about attacks. And I was like, I feel like a lot of my attacks are just shaking. Like, it's more of a test for real, to see if I stay firm. Do you switch up when something gets taken from you? Or do you still stay on faith? Do you still stand on faith? Do you still stand 10 toes down on the promise, even though the circumstances don't look like it? I'm just saying that it was a big one. Anyway, I was really shocked that I did that yesterday. I was like, I can't believe I'm putting Bible on this. I can't believe I even know Bible. I ain't never been that type of person in my life. Anyway, I don't know who that message was for. I wasn't even going through the comments. I'm so sorry. Maya's on. Hi, Maya. What's up, friend? I feel this. I'm so glad I found your live this morning. Oh, thank you for being here, Victoria. I was there for a minute, taking the words right out of my mouth. Yes, Dan, speak, mama. That's cute. You hitting. Hi, good morning. Hi, Karen. He is definitely speaking through you this morning. Oh, this is the first thing I see as I got in here. Wow. Ooh, I'm so sorry you reached out to God. I'm so happy. I was like, you so sorry, Maya. Hold on. I'm so happy you reached out to God and he held your hand through that tough time. I would be so sad without you. I know that's right. That's my real life best friend, like in real time, since like high school. I left my son's baby dad 2 months after his birth, after being together for 10 years so hard, but it brought me to God. Ooh, I love that. Yo, I love when you can look back on horrible situations and see how much that led you to where you are today. Like, that is the most profound thing ever, because in the moment you can't see it. When I tell you that breakup saved my life, it led me to rock bottom. I mean, it almost cost me my life, but then it freed me at the same time because I learned so much about myself. And I had to, like, God had to allow that man to treat me as badly as he did because I wouldn't have left. And so now looking back, I thank God. True. I know people say that in like a cliche way, but I'm telling you, there's been so many times I'm like, thank you, God, that you allowed that man to do me like that. Because I mean, he did some off the wall, like, when I say I was in a toxic relationship, that's an understatement. Like, it was crazy. What the heck? I don't even know what I was doing. But there were so many times after that breakup that I questioned God. Because like I said, I grew up in church, so I didn't have a relationship with God necessarily, but I knew who God was. I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? We all know who God is. Whether you know him or not, you know who he is. But I would question God. I'm like, God, if you love me how the church claims you're supposed to love me, why would you allow me to go through this? Like, what? Go through all of this. Like, I was so confused. I had so many questions that nobody could give me answers to except God, which again, I see the purpose of, because I would reach out to people for help and nobody could answer my questions. And now I'm like, thank God nobody could, because that forced me to go to God. Now all I need is God. I don't need anybody to answer any questions. Are they helpful? Of course. But do I need that? No, I bring it to God and God answers the questions for me. But I had to learn that the hard way. So yeah, every situation, is meant to happen for your good. Every situation, whether good, bad, negative, anything in between, it's all a part of the bigger purpose. It's all a part of a bigger plan. And in those hard moments, you can't see that. And so when you finally make it to that place where you see it, where you see why it had to happen, it's the most freeing thing. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I can view that relationship for the learning lesson that it was. Now, I do think that I prolonged it a little more. That's been kind of a controversial thing because I don't truly know whether you can prolong certain things, but I assume that you can because of free will, right? Because thinking about all the things that I learned in that relationship, the main lesson that I got out of that, I learned month 1, which is so crazy. Like, I learned that the first month that I was with him, I just convinced myself that I didn't see it, or I convinced myself that I didn't need that lesson, or I convinced myself it was, like you convince yourself of so many things. And so I stayed for 7 years. But why? Like, did I really need all of that damage? Did I really need all of that extra stuff? But now I can view that. I can just keep picking more and more and more and more lessons out of that toxic relationship, because to be honest, it built me into who I am today. And I will forever be grateful for that. I'm a much better version of myself than I was then. I mean, I wasn't even a fourth of the person as I am today then. Like, what? I grew so much. I grew into such a beautiful being from that relationship, from that toxicity, like from all of that damage, all of that hurt. It grew me into who I am today. I just couldn't see it in the moment, but I see it now. And that's a beautiful thing. Once you hit the bottom, all you can see is up. Truly. Yeah. Girl, you are saying exactly what I need to hear. Oh, I'm glad. I wish I would be nice. I would be nice to you though. Not the faces. Thank you. Oh my God, I just did this whole thing. Dang, yes, I'm in the changing era of my life. Not gonna lie, it's really scary. Oh, it's petrifying. I'm glad you said that, because I always try to give that disclaimer. Oh, it's petrifying. I've been terrified the whole time. If you're in Close Friends, I often open up about that. I have a private community for those that don't know, have never seen me before. If you click the link in my bio, you can click join my community, and it takes you to the Patreon app. Now, disclaimer before everybody runs there, we don't actually use Patreon. When you sign up for that, you get added into Close Friends on Instagram, and you get added into the Instagram group chat. It's for women only. And it's like an accountability group. So we just kind of talk back and forth. We send positive vibes through the day. We'll pray for each other, whatever. And then every Monday night at 7 p.m. EST, we do a live Zoom. So people, all the ladies will unmute our mics. We'll ask for advice back and forth. We'll have chit chats. I'm telling you, those be life-changing talks. If you like the lives, you will love the Zooms. I'm just saying, because it's like I said, everybody's talking back and forth. We built such a friendship. Like, it's beautiful. We laugh, we cry, and everything in between. Like, we be having a time. But that's in my private community. I brought that up because today on Close Friends, I was sitting there boohoo crying. Not like boohoo, but you could tell in my eyes that I have been crying something serious. And I'll tell you guys why, actually. But what I was saying was, I share a lot of my fears and stuff with them, with my private community. Obviously, I open up a lot. I'm an open book because I have no shame in my game. My testimony is top tier. I have no issue sharing my life, but they see more of the vulnerable side, like what I'm actually experiencing in this moment, what season I'm currently in. And yeah, so that's on close friends usually. But this morning I was crying because, not even on close friends, just on regular Instagram on my stories. I was talking about how I did not want to get up this morning. And that's not a usual thing for me. My alarm is set for 3:30, which is wild, but I'm up quick. Like, I love my morning routine so much that it's very rare that I snooze my alarm. Like, I be ready to get up. It's crazy. But this morning I snoozed it for like hours. I didn't even get to the gym until 6. But anyway, I just didn't want to go. I felt like this hesitation. I felt this resistance. And I know this sounds nuts for those that have never experienced it, but I was just laying there and I had dozed off and I literally heard God in my head say, get up. And I was like, bet, you do not have to tell me again. Because when God tells you that, there's something waiting for you. I'm just saying, like, don't. You stay disobedient if you want to, but me and my household, we gonna get on up now. I got right up, boy. And I didn't even think much about it. I was just like, okay, bet. So I just got up, I got to moving, I got dressed, I got to the gym. It was 19 degrees. It was freezing. I couldn't find my scraper for my car. Like, there were so many things stopping me from getting to this freaking gym. But I couldn't find the scraper. My heat was coming out cold. Like, it was nonsense. And I did not care. I grabbed, I think it's a little Santa hat down there. I looked in the back seat and I'm like, I know my son got something back there for me to wipe this daggone thing with. And so I grabbed this random Santa hat and that's funny. I put my hand in it and just started like scraping the window. And anyway, long story short, I made it to the gym, right? Mad late. I'm usually at the gym by 4:30, if not 5. I didn't get to the gym until after 6. And so anyway, I was like, I'm about to just go hard. I did post my thoughts on Instagram. Like, I really don't want to do this, but these are the days that you really should do it because I just know that the second that I make it out of this gym, I'm going to feel amazing. So I was ready, And so I went in the gym. I had a great workout. I mean, top tier. I loved it. But then afterward, bro, I left. And as soon as I left, the sky, y'all just heard me talk about how hopeful the sky makes me because it's a reminder that I'm floating now. I'm not drowning anymore, right? The sky was so freaking beautiful. Like, I mean, I went to the park just to record it and show y'all because I put it on Instagram. I was snot-nosed Roscoe crying. Like, I was literally, like, I had snot rolling down my freaking face. I was crying real tears because I needed that. And it's crazy to me that I had all of this resistance. I had all of these things stopping me from going to the gym that day, which would have stopped me from getting that sky that I needed. Like, I needed it. I needed it. I mean, I was crying. But I needed it so bad. I needed that, like, boost of energy. I needed that hope back. I needed that reminder that I'm floating. If y'all been on live, if you just hopped on, it's not going to make sense what I'm talking about. But if you've been here for the story, I know that hit because you know exactly what I'm talking about. I needed the reminder that I'm not drowning anymore, that even when my circumstances look bad, even when I got all these negative things going on around me, I'm floating. Yeah, we get it. You're late on some payments, or we get it. You're still struggling here. We get it. You're still struggling in certain areas, but you're floating. That's a constant why. Everybody that asks me how I'm consistent, I'm floating. What do you mean? I'm literally floating now. When I was once drowning, I was fighting every single day for my life. And now I'm just floating. I'm just coasting. I don't even know what's going on half the time. I'm like in La La Land. I'm having a blast. Like, what? There's so much to be grateful for when you change your heart posture. When you stop thinking about how negative life is. We know it's negative for everybody. It's hard for everybody. We get it. But how can you bring happiness to your life? How can you bring happiness to your space? How can you heal yourself enough to see the beauty that there is in life? Can you see the beauty in the sky? I'm just saying, I'm here to argue. If you cannot genuinely see the raw beauty in that sunrise, first of all, go follow me on Instagram. You'll see this. I mean, the sky was crazy. I didn't even have a filter on it or nothing, bro. I was like, there's no way this guy really looks like this. Like, this is real life. Like, if you don't see the raw beauty in the sky, ask yourself if you're drowning. Truly. Ask yourself, don't even try to force yourself to see the beauty. Just sit down, real life, with yourself in silence and quiet. Get away from the crowd, get away from the distractions, put the freaking phone down, and ask yourself if you're drowning or if you're actually living in peace. Are you living in happiness? Do you have any type of joy? Do you have God at all? Or are you just living a miserable life? Are you drowning? Because if you're drowning, that might be the reason you don't see the beauty in the sky. It's not that the sky is not beautiful. It's not that there's no beauty in the world. It's not that there's no joy out here at all. It's that you're distracted, you're blinded because you're drowning. I always emphasize that because it's not that it's your fault. I think when we view it like that, when we think about this, people start to blame themselves as if, oh, I don't have the strength to see it. Oh, I don't have to. No, it's because you're drowning. You do have the strength. How the heck do you think you're still here? You're literally fighting for your life every day and you're still here. You have some type of strength. The crazy part is you don't need that strength. You don't have to have the strength to fight for your life every day. You just need to have the strength to go to God and let him fight for you. That's it. Then you will see the beauty in life. Don't take my word for it though. Like, you try it for yourself. I'm just little old Chelsea. I tell people that all the time. I don't know everything. I'm not no scholar. I'm not no saint. I'm just little old Chelsea. Don't take my word for nothing. You go try it for yourself and then report back. I want to know. I love those messages. I love the DMs that I be getting. Oh my gosh, I be crying in my DMs, boy. Because some of the messages, it's like, oh, I tried this. Oh, I tried a routine. Oh, I tried to wake up early. Oh, I tried to bring all my issues to God. And I feel so much better. I bet. I try to tell you. It wasn't me. I'm not so consistent, bro. I'm not so motivated. I'm not so inspired. I'm exhausted plenty of times. I've been scared the entire time. I just have faith. See, that's the thing, y'all. I'm preaching, I don't know why. But that's the thing. It's like we try to get rid of fear. We think that we can't do it scared. You're always going to be scared. Stop trying to get rid of fear. Try to get God. Try, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to get something that's going to encourage you to keep going in that fear. God, that's it. Like, I've been scared the entire time. Victoria, I'm still on this comment. I'm always late on the comments, by the way. If you're new here, I'm live every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. EST, and I'm always late on the comments because I feel like if I have something to say, I'm going to say it. It has to be for somebody. So I'm going to say it. I'm not going to answer a question just, that's not helping you. Just to have a simple answer like, oh, cool, you're really scared. Like, no, I'm going to say, I know that you're really scared because I've been scared the entire journey. It's been terrifying, especially when you have such a spiritual thing going on. Like, spiritually, I'm so at peace. I'm so happy. I'm so full of joy. I'm so calm. I'm so da-da-da-da. But in the physical, life is I was going to say a shit show, but I feel like I don't feel right cussing no more, y'all. I know that sounds crazy because I always was that person that was like, ew, I don't want to stop cussing. I don't want to stop. It don't feel right to me anymore to cuss. That's what they mean when they say God will change the desires of your heart. Because I just don't feel right saying it no more. But life is chaos. My life ain't no better than yours. Now, I do have a lot of blessings. I have the freedom of my schedule. I'm a full-time entrepreneur, so I have a lot of freedom. I get paid to tell my story. Like, I have so much beauty, in my life, in everything that I have going on, but there's still a whole lot going on. I was crying about that on Close Friends today. I was like, if y'all knew, everybody that sends me messages all the time, like, you're so strong. Oh, if y'all knew. If y'all knew a lot of the things that I don't speak on, a lot of my life situations that I don't speak on. And I'm excited to finally make it out of certain things so I can speak on it, because I feel like y'all really gonna be like, no, the whole time that's been happening. Yeah, the whole time. But that don't slow me down, because your circumstances don't change the promise. Your circumstances do not change God's promise for your life. So even when it doesn't look like it's coming to pass, even when it doesn't look like it's working, when it feels bad, when it doesn't feel comfortable, the promise that God made you does not change. I know where I'm going. Where I'm at right now, it don't matter. My living situation does not matter. That does not change what God told me. That does not change God's promise for my life, and you too. Whatever God told you, that promise will come to pass. God does not change. Your circumstances do not change God's promise for your life. It does not change the vision. It does not change the calling. Like, none of that matters. That's why I don't speak on a lot of things, because it don't matter. I don't need people to have pity parties for me. Like, I don't need people to feel sorry for my situation. Why? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even that I'm embarrassed by certain things. It's just people aren't going to get it. Like, people are going to be like, oh, that's so hard. Like, what the heck? Like, yeah, trust me. I know. I get it. Like, a lot of the things in my life are really difficult. And a lot of people would fold, to be real with you. A lot of people would not be able to show up as positive Polly as I am every day. Because it takes a lot of faith. It takes, oh my God, it takes so much faith to be in negative situations and still see the light at the end and still go hard for it every single day, even when the circumstances don't show that you're going to make it. When you stop seeing those sunrises, when I haven't seen it, God, I was just talking about this morning on Close Friends. If you're in my Patreon, you're in Close Friends, go watch it. I was just crying about it because I'm like, yo, I'm going to be real. I haven't seen a sunrise in a while. And I'm not just talking about no freaking sunrise. I haven't seen certain promises be fulfilled in a while. It did not take me off of my mark. It did not take me off of my position. I'm still standing 10 toes down because I know what God told me. It don't matter what it looks like right this second. It don't matter what the bank account looks like. It don't matter what the living situation looks like. What did God say? What did God say? Not what it looks like right now. What is the promise? Stand on that. Have faith in that. That's why I brought up Job. Again, not to be a Bible thumper, but that's why I brought up Job, because Job had everything taken away and he still stood in faith. Did he question? Yes. Did he have concerns? Of course. Did he struggle? Yeah. He had his whole life freaking taken. Everything except his life. But he still stood 10 toes down because he knows what God told him. I know what God told me. I understand I look crazy in certain areas. That's fine. But I know what God told me. I'll look crazy. Because I'm telling you, when I finally walk into it, I'm going to be able to pull up all these lives and be like, bro, look. I straight told people the first couple lives, I was like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel crazy as all get out. Like, I really don't know what I'm doing or why I'm talking, or, I've been scared the whole time. I've been confused majority of the time. Mind you, a disclaimer on that. People always say, like, if it's from God, it does not come with confusion. That does not mean that you won't be confused. Just because something is not confusing does not mean it's not confusing to you. You may be confused. That doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying. I had to give that disclaimer because I don't want people to start questioning me. But I've been confused and scared the entire time. But I know what God promised me. So I'm going to stand 10 toes down on it. And I'm telling you, when it all comes to pass, I'm going to be like, I told y'all. Yeah, y'all thought I was crazy. I told y'all. I know what I heard. I know what I felt. You know when you encounter God. If you don't know if you've encountered God or not, you haven't. Like, be for real. You know when you encounter God. Now, you might get tested. So don't think that every time you question, you haven't heard from God. But I'm just saying, sometimes you'll convince yourself you didn't hear it. That's on you. Get yourself together. No, that's hard because sometimes it's so surreal that you can't even really see it. Like, there's no way that this is happening. Like, what? Like, it'd be the wildest thing. I was thinking about that this morning because my life has turned. I've been to the same park. If you haven't followed me, I'm going to fill you in. I've been to the same park for the entire year and a half. So when I very first started my journey, I told you I moved into my parents' house. I left my 3-bedroom household and moved into my parents' house at this big age. And I was like, I'm starting over. And so I had to find a safe space. I'm like, I have to have quiet somehow. Like, I have to have some type of safe space. And so I made my safe space my car. And so I would go to the park, this particular park, the same park every day. And I would just sit there. And I would just allow God to speak to me. Like, I would just sit with myself, and try to find some healing and try to find some answers and just try to start over. I started from scratch. And this morning I was at that park just crying because I'm like, bro, I've been at this park in every season. Like, the sky looks beautiful today, but it once didn't. There's so many times it didn't. There's so many, man, it was snowing so many times. It was storming. I've been there in a full-blown storm, just sitting in my car. Like, girl, you should probably head out. I had to tell myself that a few times. Sweating. I've been so freaking hot that I had to keep turning the car on and let the air run for a minute. And then I would turn it back off until it got too hot again. And I'd turn it back on. Like, I've been there in every single season. And to really sit there and think about how drastic my life has changed from that first sit down to today. I mean, Y'all, I remember, this is, y'all know about Cherry mostly, the guy that I speak to, the guy that I'm connected with. I remember the first time I went to that park, I was like, I feel like I really like that man for some reason. I feel like I'm really like connected to him somehow, but I can't really figure it out. I was that. It was like we were hanging out, but I didn't really see it going anywhere. What? When I say that's my person, like, I can sit at that park today and be like, oh yeah, that's my person. Like, that's my whole, are you crazy? Like, that's my best friend. That's my person. That's about to be my business. Like, what are you talking about? We have like a whole everything together. Like, it's crazy to see. I give that small example just because, you know, a lot of people are filled into my relationship with this little nickname and everything. But it's just been so beautiful, like, to see the whole process and to see what really came out of that one prayer. Like, that one little, if you see my testimony on YouTube, that was my prayer. I always do this because I swear that's how I prayed. I was like, God, I don't know if you're real. And then I kind of chuckled. I was like, we probably shouldn't start like that. Okay, let me let me scratch that. And then I was like, no, I'm about to be straight up. I don't know how to pray. And so I was like, okay, God, I don't know if you're real or not. But if you are, like, if you just so happen to be, could you please come save me now? Like everybody said that you would. And like, I literally stuttered like that. I was like, if you are real, could you please come save me now? Because otherwise, like, I give up. Like, I quit. Like, I don't want to keep trying to do this anymore. That was my prayer. So those that say you have to have this beautiful, long, drawn out, hopeful, faithful, you know, repentful, you know, prayer. No, you don't. That's not true. I'm not saying that they're lying. Maybe they think that that's true, but that's not the truth. My prayer was there was no real belief in my prayer at all. I was done. I didn't want to do it anymore. So I needed him to come help me. And so I said, if you're real, can you come save me now? Because otherwise I quit. And when I tell you, I was saved. Like, I guess that's what they mean by saved, you know? Like, I never understood that concept for my own life. I believed that Jesus died for the world, but I could not put it into perspective for my life. I did not believe that Jesus died for me. I was like, I don't understand what you guys are talking about. Like, yeah, I get it. I get the gist. Okay, cool. But I didn't have a relationship with God for myself to even understand. Like, no, Chelsea, he didn't just die for the world. He died for you. Like, it's not that there's so much hope and there's so much space for the world to get better. It's that you can get better. Like, he has something planned for you. That was like a foreign concept to me. I didn't register that, but he proved it apparently, because my life is much different. Anyways, let me go through some comments because I got distracted. All of that one comment from Victoria. She said she's been scared, or she's scared to go after it. And I was like, I've been terrified the whole time. I'd be so scared. I don't post everything. I post a lot, but I don't post everything. But I do use my Snapchat, and I will record certain videos and post them to my memories, or just save them in my memories, to look back on. And it's crazy. Obviously with the new year here, I looked back on some of my old videos from 2023, and there's so many videos where I was crying. I'm like, bro, I'm so scared. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm terrified. I feel like I'm in freaking battle or something. Like, there's attack after attack after attack, and test after test after test, but beauty after beauty after beauty. Like, it's been so beautiful and so fun. Like, I've never laughed as much as I have in 2023. Ever in my life. And I'm a laugher. I mean, I'm bubbly all the daggone time. If you see me, I'm like, what's up, y'all? Like, I'm that girl. I always have been. That's why nobody knew I was depressed, because I've always been that girl. But I've never genuinely laughed. Like, looking back at my lifeline, I would laugh just because that was me. I would laugh because that's my personality. I thought, that was my default, but I never laughed. I never actually smiled. Oh my gosh. 2023 was the very first time. It's like I laughed all year. Like I lived in 2023 for the very first time in my life. Like that. Oh, it's so crazy to think about. It's so crazy to think about. Ironically, it's the first year I followed God. So, I mean, if 2 + 2 = 4, then that makes sense to me. Yeah, I prolonged it by not leaving mentally first. Best $12 I ever spent. Oh, is joining this Patreon. No lie, it has saved me time and time again. Oh, I love that. I love that, Carter. I'm so glad you're there. How do I join? Oh, Patreon. You can join my private community through the link in my bio. So you'll just click the link in my bio and it takes you to my landing page. And it says join my community. It's for women only. No hate to the men, but I have a man that does all that. My guy will take care of the guys, and I will take care of the girls, and we'll all be in a better place. Actually, I just tagged my guy on Instagram recently, like yesterday, I think. So if you want a male perspective or a male motivator for your guy, I'll tag him. I'll tag him again today on there so you guys can see it. But push y'all's men to go watch his content because our guys need help too, y'all. We all out here lost. It ain't just them and it ain't just us. We all lost. Like, we all need help. We all need guidance. But yeah, you join my private community through the link in my bio. It says join my community. Disclaimer, I just want to explain this a little bit. I always have to. It will take you to my Patreon. My Patreon is really just for subscription purposes. So it takes care of all the payments. It does everything on its own. But we don't actually use the Patreon app. So if you sign up for the Patreon thing, because there's a free option on there, there's nothing to see on there. Like, we don't actually use that. But it comes with, you get added into close friends on Instagram. You get added into the Instagram group chat. So we have like a group accountability chat where we talk back and forth every day. Just positive vibes all the time. And then you get access to the Zoom links. So every Monday night at 7 p.m. EST, we hop on a live Zoom call. And we talk about stuff in depth like we do on lives, but everybody gets to unmute their mic. Now, mind you, you don't have to. There's been several times where, you're going through something and you want to join the conversation, but you don't have it in you to talk, or you don't have it in you to show your face. You do not have to. It's very much a safe space. Like, if you just want to hear the conversation, you're more than welcome to keep your camera off, like keep your mic off, put it in the chat that you don't have it in you to talk, so I won't even call you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very much a safe space, but everybody does have the option to open up and speak, talk about something that they're struggling with or ask for advice. Like, it's an accountability group. It's a group of like-minded women. Yeah, but that's in the link in my bio. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Morning, besties. Hi, Bree Spurl. What's up? I'm so late on the comments, but hi. My baby wanted to go to her dad's house during the day yesterday. Once it was a nightmare. She remembered that her brother came into her room with threatening her, and she started crying, saying that she wanted to see her dad, but she was so afraid of her brother. He totally dismisses it. I signed up for the gym. That's my girl. Yo, that's my girl. She was so deep. She's like, when I bring up the subject to him, he totally dismisses it. I signed up for the gym. Like, yo, I swear that's one of my Patreon girls. I just love her. But I swear that's how the Patreon community be. Like, we be in such depth with all of these deep conversations, and then we always bring it up. Like, it's not a vent session. I want to give that disclaimer. It's not a vent session. Like, nobody unmutes their mic and just vents for the whole hour. No. Say what you have to say. We want to genuinely hear your vulnerable, situation. Like, tell us exactly what you're going through. But we're going to switch it around. We're not going to dwell in this. We got some type of positive vibes to bring. Like, we're going to come up with a solution. What can we do to turn this around? Like, what scriptures can we put on it if we need to put on it? What can we pray? Can we do something? Like, we got to figure something out. That's funny. But good job signing up for the gym. That's awesome. I needed a reminder that I'm not drowning anymore. That's deep. It is deep, and I'm glad that you caught that. If you're new, I don't say anything surface level. Even the little examples and stuff, like, I'm not a surface level person. No hate to the people that are. That's a happy life to live too, I suppose. But I'm not a surface level individual. Like, I like to go deep. I be in the basement. Like, I just live in the basement. I don't know why my mind operates like that, but it does. So, if you really listen to what I'm saying, God really do be speaking some actual deep messages. I'll be shocked myself. But no, yeah, I needed a reminder that I'm not drowning anymore. Thanks for quoting that. I forgot that I said that. But that's true. If you have a constant reminder that there is beauty in life, you have to. Even if it's just one little thing, you have to have one little reminder that you can see to just remind you that life is beautiful, even when it doesn't feel like it, when it doesn't seem like it, when it's not looking too good. Mine is the sky. I'm the girl that's forever chasing sunsets. Like, I will drive. I don't care. I'm like, and my son be cracking up because his name's Tristan. I'd be like, Tristan, look! Like, I'd be like, Tristan, do you see? Like, I'm so used to looking back. Do you see the sky right there, bro? Like, I know you see this. Like, look. I'd be boohoo crying. Like, I don't care. Because it's deeper than a freaking sky. It don't got nothing to do with the sky for real. Although it does. Because where did the sky come from? But for me, it's a reminder that I'm still going. I'm still here. I'm still trying. That I still have opportunity. That there's still beauty to be seen in life. Like, it's a reminder that I'm not on the bathroom floor anymore. Like, I made it. Y'all keep talking about making it somewhere. Y'all think that making it somewhere is when you make it to some made up measure of success. No, I made it because I found peace. What? I don't need a lick of money. Like, I will still be at peace. Like, I don't need the big house to say that I made it. I made it. What did I make it to? I don't know. I made it to me. I made it to myself. I finally caught up to the person that I was always supposed to be, instead of living as the person that the world created me to be. Like, I made it. I saw a pastor say one time, and I always quote it. I say it all the time. The pastor said that we often think that we will reach our breakthrough once we make it to where we're going. But we don't realize that our breakthrough, like, we reach our breakthrough once we realize what it is that's been holding us back. That was me. I thought that my breakthrough would come once I got the nice house, once I got the nice car, once I got all of these things, the marriage. Oh my gosh, the partnership was huge for me. I'm like, once I make it there, then I got my breakthrough. Then I made it. No, I made it. I made it when I was on the bathroom floor and I realized that was the problem. Because in that very second, I realized that was the solution. And that was my breakthrough. I'm like, oh, it's up from here. What? I just saved my whole life. You realizing you're the problem saves yourself, because now you realize you have the power to change it. Like, you cannot change anybody else. I sat on that floor blaming my ex for so long because he was a clown. He was a clown. Is he to blame? Sure. But that's not going to save me. Me forgiving him ain't going to save me. I needed to forgive myself. I needed to realize what I did to me. Yo, I'm preaching and I don't know where it all came from because I had no motivation this morning. I'm just saying, I didn't even want to get up. This was the first morning in a very long time that I snoozed my alarm for like 2 hours. And I was like, I'm just tired. Like, I don't want to go to the gym. I was literally like falling asleep on the toilet. It's TMI, but my whole life is TMI. My username is literally All Things C Win, because my name is Chelsea Win, and I clearly talk about all things. But I was like freaking sleepwalking. I'm like, bro, why am I so tired? And I like literally sat down to pee, and I'm like, I'm really that tired? What the heck? And so now to see the gym go how it went, the gym went so good. I finally talked myself into getting into the gym this morning, even though I was mad tired, and it went so good. Then I got to see the most beautiful sunrise. And now here I am preaching on live. Like, what? The enemy was trying to stop me from something. I'm just saying. Anyways, I used to tell everyone I was at the bottom of the ocean, like the Titanic. Now I'm here. We love looking at the sky. Right now it says, look, God's artwork. That's so sweet. God's artwork. I never even thought to say it like that. That's beautiful. Love, I didn't think our hometown had beautiful skies like that. When I tell you I lived here my whole life, I never seen that sky looking like that. There's so many sunrises now. I mean, I have a whole year's worth in my daggone Snapchat memories. The sky is gorgeous. Please, literally. You ain't even got to go follow me. Just go look me up, because I ain't even trying to ask for follows. I need y'all to go see the sky. Go see what it is that I'm talking about, bro. Get off the live. Go find me on Instagram. It's All Things C Win across all things social media. I have the same username everywhere. Go look it up and look at my story. You will see the sunrise that I'm talking about, bro. I'm not exaggerating. The sky was gorgeous. I mean, there was pinks, there was oranges. Oh my gosh. I was crying something serious, yo. I couldn't even do it. You don't need to fight for your life every day. Ooh. You be quoting the stuff that I said, and when I read it back, I'm like, dang, I did say that, didn't I? That's crazy. Yeah, you don't need to fight for your life every day. I thought that I was strong for fighting for myself every single day, not realizing that the real strength came from surrendering that. Like, strength is actually saying, I don't have to live like this. I'm going to surrender this over to God. And if he's real, he's going to save me. Like, that's it. That's all the strength that it takes. It don't take all these Bibles and these scriptures. Those are beautiful tools. Don't I'm literally in love with the Bible. I got the Bible right here, so I wanted to get that disclaimer. I'm not trying to say that you don't need the Bible. The Bible is the best thing ever. I mean, I'm obsessed with reading this Bible. But what I'm saying is I think that when it comes to gaining a relationship with God, we all run here. That's great. I suppose if that works for you, then that works for you. It didn't work for me. I could not just open this Bible and read scripture and be like, oh, now I'm saved. No, I didn't get it. I couldn't put any of this into perspective for myself. I had to start with me, which if you guys were on that live, I found my story in the word and I was shook. I was like, I knew I wasn't crazy because my journey did not start with God. My journey started with me. Like I would go out to the car every morning and sit down and watch the sun come up. Every morning, just, I don't know why, I just felt led, something, I always said that, I'm like, something told me, looking back, I know it was God, but I didn't know it was God at the time. I just had this sudden urge to start setting my alarm every single morning, no excuses, and go out to the car in my driveway, because like I said, I had a little house with just me and my son, so I couldn't leave, and so I would just go sit in this car, in my driveway, like I'm doing right now. Look, this is how the story started and how the story ends. That's crazy. But I would just sit there and I would just talk to myself. It sounds crazy, but I would prioritize me for the first time in my entire life. I'm like, you're going to go out to this car and you're not going to think about Tristan because you're a great mother. You got that on lock. Stop thinking about it 24/7. You got that under control. You need to find yourself. And so I just sat there and I started talking out loud like this, which I know now was preparation because clearly I needed to be prepared for this. And so I would just start talking out loud and I'd be like, okay, how am I feeling? And at first it was so weird. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why am I asking myself these questions? And so I would just sit there and talk to myself. And I did that for months. There was many mornings I was hungover because I drank all the time. There was many mornings there was a man in my bed because I was a savage and I thought that would help me. But I still went out to the car. And through that, I built self-discipline. I found myself. I built a relationship with myself. All of that just through prioritizing me and giving myself just that time. Like, that's it. You don't need to fix your life overnight. I truly believe that you can fix your life by just giving yourself the time and the space and the opportunity to think straight. Like, you can't think straight, not because you're slow or stupid or weak, but you don't give yourself that time or space. You're so worried about life and everything else. Like, you're so worried about bills and children and being a top tier employee and being a top tier mother and getting everything paid on time and finding a relation. Like, you're so worried about all this worldly crap that don't even matter. It literally doesn't matter. None of that matters if you don't have yourself. You can have the car. I've said that before. I was not praying, but you know what I'm saying? I was manifesting all the time for this car. I really wanted this car. Not this car in particular, but I wanted a cute white mom SUV. When I walked into the dealership, I said, I'm coming from a beat up Pontiac G6. I don't need that much. I ain't really materialistic anyway. I just want a cute mom little white SUV. When I say God gave me way more than that, I do have a white SUV. But I didn't ask for the double sunroof. I didn't ask for the push to start. I didn't ask for the heated seats. I didn't ask for the remote start. I didn't ask for none of that. God gave me that. But then I was depressed in my car. Like, what? You think materialistic stuff is going to make you happy, and it's not. You're going to make you happy. It literally all starts with you. If I didn't change my mindset, I was still in the car depressed. Because the car will not make you happy. You have to work on yourself first. Which is funny because I ended up finding myself in this car. I'm never giving up this car. This is my baby. Like, what are we talking about? It's not even about the car. It's just the depth of it. The fact that all I needed was the car. I didn't need anything else. I didn't need to wait for my life to be put together. No, I just needed this. I just needed opportunity. I just needed space. I just needed to utilize the tools that I have. And so I would sit here in the freaking car randomly and just watch the sun come up. And then eventually, after like a month or two, God started revealing himself to me. That's how I always say it, because I wasn't in search of God. I truly wasn't. There was never a time I was like, I really want to get to know God. I never thought that. I just wanted to get to know myself. And through getting to know me, it was like once I realized once I realized that behind closed doors, I was still a genuine person, like once I realized how pure my heart actually is, and that's not to brag, that's just me being real. Like when I sat behind closed doors, I was in this car by myself while the world's asleep, and I realized that I am such a beautiful being, like my spirit, it was like, wait, there has to be a God, because how am I just, And so God started revealing himself to me. And so eventually I started walking out to the car. And I remember I would have this big Snuggie, like this big fuzzy, like Snuggie looking thing. It was like a big hoodie. I actually think I found it on like Instagram or something. It was like this big, huge hoodie, but it was low key like a blanket, and you could put the hood up and everything. I wonder where that went. But I had that, and I would bring my little coffee, and I would come out and shut the door. Even in freezing cold, I would run the heat until it got really warm, and then I would turn it off like I do at the park. And I remember the first time I went out there, and I was like, hey, God. Like, I took a deep breath. I was like, hey, God. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I was so confused. Like, why did I just say that? Like, that's what I'm saying. It happens so naturally. We be trying to force everything to happen. Just let it happen naturally. God will reveal himself to you. When you calm down, be in search of yourself. If you're that lost, like if you resonate with my story, as in you feel like you're so freaking lost, like you don't know what to do, you don't know where to start with you. Start with yourself. Like, prioritize that time to just sit still every day. Don't put a timeline on it. Don't be weird. Like, just start. And then sit down and ask yourself real questions. I think my website is tripping today. I just looked at it yesterday, but my bestseller is Questions to Ask Yourself. It's an ebook, and it has 192 questions that you can ask yourself when you start your process of self-discovery. Shoot me a message if you want me to if you want that, because I think my website tripping. It might not. Go look. Go see if it's up now. But that's been my bestseller for the past 6-7 months. Because what's crazy is those are questions. Those are straight from my personal journal. And those were questions that I heard God asking me in that car, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to start self-discovery. What the heck? I'm not a freaking... I didn't know what I was doing, but I had all these random deep questions that I would ask myself. And at first it was so awkward. I'm like, oh, why am I asking myself this question? But I would give myself real, raw, vulnerable answers. And eventually I know that it was God asking me, or it was God helping me, guiding me to these questions. And that's what ended up saving my whole freaking life. That's that building that relationship with myself. Hold on. Let me go through some of these. Look at y'all chit-chatting. She tests me the most too. Your daughter? My son tests me so bad. You're dropping so many gems. Listen, Job was terrifying to read. I was stressed. Yeah, because Job got everything taken away from him in the Bible, and that was a little crazy. And then to hear what he said back, like to hear him losing hope, it was like, no, like I was like so into it. It's such a great story though. Wouldn't be here today if I didn't have God with me during my hardships. I know that's right. You better say that. I know that's right. I was saying that this morning. I don't know if I posted it or if I just kept it in my thing. And I was like, I know that this seems dramatic, like me really crying like this at the sunrise, but people don't understand. Like, I would not be here without God. Like, and I think it's so crazy too, because I talk about God so much. I'm telling you, God was nowhere near in my business plan. I never sat down and was like, okay, I'm going to do lives about God. What the heck? I was not thinking that at all. If you follow me on YouTube, I talk about God so much. Like my vlogs, everything. Like I talk about God so much, and it was never, ever, I never intended to do that. The truth is, I can give you, and I say this to you guys all the time, I can give you a 1, 2, 3 step if you want me to BS how I got where I am today. I can give you that. But the raw truth is, I wouldn't be here without God. Should you have a routine? Absolutely. Yes, you need to build a routine. You need to prioritize yourself. You need to do all these things, but it don't matter. Like I wouldn't have the strength to do any of that without God. That's just the truth. I would be a fraud to sit here and try to sell you ebooks on what I did to get where I am and leave God out. That's crazy. Yes, I'm the one who did it. Yes, I had to do it in the physical, but without God, I would not be here. When I tell you I have prayed every single day, Every single day. There's not one day in the past year and a half that has gone by that I did not put a prayer up. And I'm not just talking, thank you for this food, amen. No, there's not one single day I did not talk to God. Like, because I didn't have the strength to do it by myself. You don't have the strength to do it by yourself. I don't know what we don't get about that. We be thinking that all the time. Like, if I just build my strength up, then I can do it. No, you can't. You can't, because you weren't meant to. You're not meant to do it alone. It's not that you're weak. It's too much. It's too much to carry. The world is, and why do you want to? That's the part that I don't think I get. Like, when people start saying, oh, they don't want to live for God. Why, though? Like, I mean, I get it if you just are ignorant or don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Not ignorant in a mean way, but just ignorant. Like, you don't have that knowledge to know. But why do you want to fight in this world by yourself? Like, me thinking about it now, it's like, what is the risk? You're saying if God is not real, then I just gave him my life and lived in peace instead of misery. But if God is real, then you just ruined your entire everything. What happens after this? What? Like, yeah, you lived life without God, but what is your eternity like, though? Like, what? I don't know. I just think it's worth the risk. I'm just saying, if you can't even have the faith of a mustard seed to believe, is it worth the risk? Like, it comes with some type of peace and happiness. It's better to fight with God there than to fight by yourself. I'm just saying, because you're drowning. I'm not trying to be rude, but you're miserable. The fact if you believe in the resurrection or not should be the least of your concerns, baby. You're miserable. You haven't genuinely smiled in forever. You've been in survival mode for years. What are you talking about? Like, you should say the prayer now, actually. You should get off live right now and go put a prayer up. Because what do you have to lose? A life that you hate? That's crazy. When you really think about it, bro, it don't make sense. Why I was just voluntarily living in misery. Because I'm like, well, God probably ain't real. God probably won't answer my prayers. But what about if he do? What about if he do? What about if he does? What if he does? And your whole life changes. You just fixed your whole life with a prayer? I mean, it just sounds worth it to me. I'm just saying, it was worth it to me, obviously. And thank God. Thank God I prayed that prayer. There's never been one single day that I questioned whether I should have prayed that prayer or not. Not one moment, not 1 minute, not 1 second, not nothing. Every single day I'm like, thank God I prayed that prayer. Ooh, that was crazy. Ooh, I never laughed. No, for real, I never laughed before 2023. I laughed. I cackled all the daggone time, but I never genuinely laughed until 2023. Which, like I said, ironically was my first full year living for God. Like, I let God direct every step. Even when it didn't make sense, I was like, I'm going to just stay in obedience just to see, like, what if? What if I listen to that little voice inside of me telling me to do something and it takes me to exactly where I'm supposed to be? Like, I was living off of what if. I still do sometimes. When you start to lose hope, it's like, what if? What if this is the right way? What if this does bring me to a better life? Just what if? Isn't that better than the life you're living right now? Just canceled hella subscriptions so I could spend my good money on my good sis. You're hilarious. It's $9 or $12 a month. It's so worth it. Oh, thank you. You going over the comments? Yeah, we're going to switch it around quick. It's funny because I think we say it's okay not to be okay, but we also have to remind ourselves it's okay to be okay. I brought that up yesterday because that's one of the things, like, we're going to have to square up. I cannot stand that quote, that it's okay not to be okay. Says whom? Who said that? I get the gist, so I'm not going to be that person. I really do get the gist. But that's not true. It's not okay to not be okay. It's okay to not feel okay, but it's not okay to live in that not okay. Why is that okay? If we are stuck, even not speaking from a spiritual standpoint, although we can put a whole lot of Bible on the fact that there's power in the tongue. Stop saying that. But even not speaking from a spiritual standpoint, just speaking in general, why do you want to be okay not being okay? Like, you're stuck here. You're stuck here until God calls you home. I'm just saying. So if you have to be stuck here, why are we wearing freaking t-shirts that say it's okay not to be okay? You're literally saying it's okay to be miserable. It's okay to live in survival mode. It's okay to not be happy. Like, what are we talking about? That sounds crazy. That sounds so crazy. Like, people scare me. That's scary. And I'm part of the problem, because I used to sell stuff like that. Because I ran the t-shirt business full time before I went into ministry, I guess. I never said that, but it seems like that's where it's going. And I did a lot of just random quotes on t-shirts and stuff. And "It's okay not to be okay" was a big one that suppliers would send me. And I'd be like, oh, cool. Like, that's cute. Why? Why is that cute? If I now know the biblical truth behind how much power we hold in our tongues, why are we sitting here speaking negativity over our lives? That's scary and crazy. It's okay to be miserable. Or we think it's funny to be depressed. Like, we keep wearing all these y'all gonna get me triggered because I can't stand it. I don't talk about it often. I really don't. But what the hell? Like, why are we doing that? We have so many things like, oh, I can't come, I'm depressed. That was one of the shirt things. Oh, I can't come, I got anxiety. I came and I saw I had anxiety, so I left. Like, it's so funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. I used to think it was funny because I didn't understand the depth of depression. But the fact that depression literally had me in a chokehold and ruined my entire life, that's not funny. It's not a game. It's like, I hate being that person, which is why I don't talk about it often. But seriously, why are we doing that? The power of your tongue, like, you can make or break your entire life just by how you're speaking, what you're exposing yourselves to. Like, what are you speaking over your life? You're making depression your identity. Oh, I'm depressed. No, you're not. You have depression. Yes. What are you doing? What do you have set into place to try to make that better for yourself? It's a very real thing. It's not a joke. Like, stop with the freaking t-shirts. I can't stand it. That one comment just triggered me so bad. It's okay not to be okay. No, it's not. It's okay to recognize the fact that you do not feel okay in this moment. It is not okay to make that your identity. It is not okay to live like that. It's not. Find a solution or do something. Just implement anything in your life that can make you, at least lead you toward being okay. Why are you saying it's okay not to be okay? And then your whole routine says that too. Like, your whole routine is set up for failure. What? Let me get some water, because that just blew me. By the way, her comment didn't say that. She was talking about how it's okay to be okay. Like, she was going against it too. Have you made a TikTok yet with the "Are you that girl that takes pictures of the sky"? No, I haven't heard that one. I think I have on Instagram, maybe. No, I haven't. I don't really do the trends a lot. I need to start, but I ain't really good with the content yet. God just said start talking, so I started talking. He gonna need to fill me in on the other stuff. I don't know. I got a tattoo when I was 18 that says "Fearless" from the T Swift quote. Crying in the forest, fearless, but getting up. Oh, yeah. Fearless was an amazing album anyway. Fearless, I'm about to put that thing on today. Fearless was so good. I mean, no hate to the Swifties nowadays, but if you wasn't a Swiftie then, that was a great album. But getting up and being okay is fearless too. Facts. And that's strength. Like, I shouldn't say people, society, I feel like made me feel like strength was carrying everything by myself. Like, strength was being able to say, oh, I got everything, and I'm just handling my emotions, and I'm just crying behind closed doors, but I'm laughing in public so people don't see. Like, that was strength. That's not what strength is. Strength is being able to say, get up off of this floor and go build a better life for yourself. That's strength. It's strong to reach out for help. It's strong to say, I'm not okay, but I'm not okay with being not okay. Like, that is strength. It's not strength to act like you have no emotions. It's not strength to try to carry everything alone and now you're exhausted, but it's okay because you're not giving up. Like, no, that's not strength. Strength is being able to reach out for help. Strength is being able to sit with yourself and recognize the fact that you're miserable. Strength is being able to put a plan into motion to get out of that misery. That's strength. Ugh. But that's a really good album. I do love me some Fearless. That was so good. That was top tier. I want to get the one that says, if you never bleed, you're never going to grow. Ooh, that's a good one too. Because growth comes with a lot of trials, tribulations, a lot of blood, a lot of tears, a lot of sweat. I know what they mean when they say that now. Because, baby, I've been very vocal and honest and transparent about my journey the entire time. I will never make it sound like it's been easy. It hasn't. It hasn't. It's just been worth it. I didn't need it to be easy. I needed it to be worth it. See, that's the problem. We keep looking for easy. Stop looking for easy. Look for worth it. Because be honest, what you're doing right now is not easy. You think it's easy to live life like that? I'll never forget when I first started like speaking about my testimony. People would be like, that sounds so hard. Like, isn't it so hard to get up every day at 3:00 in the morning? Like, isn't it so hard to go to the gym? Isn't it so hard to eat healthy? Isn't it so hard to read your Bible every day? No, it was so hard to have no purpose in life. What are we talking about? There's no comparison between the two. You want to talk about hard? Like, hard is having no type of vision, no type of calling, no type of purpose, no type of reason to even wake up in the morning. Hard is only waking up because you have a child to take care of. That's hard. That's really hard. Hard is hating yourself so much that you don't realize you deserve to go to the gym. That's hard. Like, what? Hard is working a job that I absolutely hate just to barely make enough money, to live in a house that I don't even like, but just to be able to say that I'm successful, just to be able to say, oh yeah, I don't live with my parents. Great, but you're miserable. That's hard. It's harder to be miserable in a house that I can barely afford, but I'm making ends meet, than it is to live in, my parents don't live here anymore, but to live in a household to where I completely downgraded, but I saved my life. What are we talking about? I feel like everybody's looking for easy, not realizing that what you're living life as right now is already harder than what it would be to just surrender your life to God and just try to go after something better. No, it's not hard to read my Bible every day because I deserve to read it, because the answers are in here. What are you talking about? It's like if you're on a freaking road trip and you're lost, why is it hard to put on the GPS? It's like if 2 + 2 = 4, that's not mathing. That doesn't make sense, y'all. How is it hard? I never understand that when people say, isn't it hard to prioritize reading the Bible every day? No, it's hard to live life without it. It's hard to live life with no answers. It's hard to be on that road trip, lost as all get out, with no money. You don't know where you're going. You don't have a destination. You don't have gas in the car, but you don't have money to get gas. And you don't have a GPS. That's hard. And that's what a lot of us are living as. We're living lost. That's what they mean when they say that. You're living lost. Why? When you don't have to. That's the wild thing. You wonder why you can't stand yourself. You can't stand yourself because your spirit recognizes the fact that you have a choice, that you can make life better if you want to. You're choosing not to. You do realize there's a GPS. You know that. Whether you convince yourself you don't know that or not is beyond me. But you know and recognize that there is a GPS. You have the option to put it on. You're just choosing to continue on the road trip. Why? Why would you do that? I never get that. Isn't it hard to eat healthy? No, it's hard to eat BS all the time and my stomach hurts. That's what's hard. It's hard to eat McDonald's every day for convenience because I'm too lazy to cook dinner. I'm talking about myself. Don't get your panties in a wad. It's harder for me to do that. And now my stomach hurts all the time, or I'm stressed out all the time, or it's making my depression worse. That's hard. It's much harder to do that than to eat my freaking avocado toast. No, that's not hard. Define hard. What is hard? What are we talking about? Is it hard to go to the gym? No. It's hard for my body to be so overweight that I struggle to breathe getting in and out of the car. That was my reality. That's hard. It's hard to look at pictures of myself and hate the way that I look. It's hard for me to constantly try to get past the mirror without seeing myself because I hate me. That's hard. It's not hard to prioritize myself. It's hard not to. This makes sense, y'all. Seriously, people ask me these questions all the time. And y'all, if you know me, you know I'm a very genuine individual. I always give a genuine answer. I don't ever come at people like that sideways. But if I'm going to give you a raw response, then no, it's not hard. What you're doing in life right now is hard. That's what's hard. What I'm doing is this is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Is it easy? No. It's the easiest. It's the easiest thing I've ever done in my life is live for God. Are you crazy? It's a blast. It's constant progress. With God, there's no such thing as 1 step forward, 10 steps back. That's the world. With God, it's constant progress. Does that mean you never have negativity? No. That means that every negative thing happens for a reason. So it's still bringing you progress. Like, it's constant progress. I constantly feel like I'm leveling up. I went from nothing to something literally in a year. How is that hard? It's hard because you're looking at the actions instead of looking at the consequences, or instead of looking at the outcome. You know what I'm saying? We can relate it to gym. We can talk surface level if you want to. When it comes to the gym, when you wake up in the morning, you're asking yourself if you want to. You're asking yourself, do you feel like it? Ask yourself if you want the outcome. Do you want to be healthier? You will never answer no unless you're lying. You literally have to lie to yourself to be inconsistent. If you're asking yourself the right questions and you're giving yourself the honest answer, you're leading yourself to success. I don't ask myself if I want to go to the gym. I never want to go to the gym. Why would I want to go to the gym at 4:00 in the morning? There would never be a time that I answered yes. Like, ever. I'm not worried about that. I ask myself, do I want to get closer to my calling? Yes or no? Do I want to get closer to the version of myself that God wants me to be? Yes or no? Yeah. These are very simple questions. You're asking yourself the wrong questions. That's the problem. It's not even you. You're just asking yourself the wrong question. Switch your questions up. Stop asking yourself if you want to do the actions. You don't want to do the actions. Nobody wants to go work out. Be for real. Nobody wants to eat healthy. Be honest. People that want to eat healthy, they want to eat healthy because they want the benefit of it. It's not because, oh, it just tastes so good. Oh, I'd rather sit there for 30 freaking minutes and prep a meal than just sliding through McDonald's. Like, nobody's gonna, you know what I'm saying? People aren't choosing the action. They're choosing the outcome. That was the gem, y'all. I hope y'all took some notes because that was good. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Those are the tools. God is the resource. Facts. A word. Amen. Thank you guys for the follows. Amen. Yes, I didn't have... I lost it. If you're new here, I'm always late on the comments. Just a disclaimer. I usually go through most of them, but I'm always late. I didn't need the aesthetic. Don't get me started on aesthetics, because that's what we live for. We live for the aesthetic. Speaking of, I started reading this quote before I went through the comments, but I saw on Instagram before I hopped on live. Actually, my guy shared it. I was like, where did I even see that? My guy shared it on Instagram. It was a Denzel Washington thing, and he was talking about social media and how social media is ruining us, and how we want to be liked. We're so thirsty to be liked by the world. Why? Do you want to live for the world? Like, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, he was talking about how God blessed us with free will. We don't even like ourselves because it was never about what we wanted or what would make ourselves happy. We just wanted to please the world, the internet, society, or our peers. He was talking about 16 million people. Where was that at? Oh, today we tried to be liked by 16 million people we don't even know. But we used to try to be liked by just one person. And then my notes on it, I said, we try to impress the world and we become who the world wants us to be. Then we wonder why we can't find the relationship God has for us. We can't find them because that requires us to show up as the person God created us to be, not the person the world created. We want the life God has for us while we show up every day living to please the world. And of course that brought back to social media, because a lot of us are doing it for the aesthetics. A lot of us are just living certain ways or trying to please everybody around us. What? Why do you care so much about being liked by all these strangers? It doesn't make a difference. You need to learn to be liked by either somebody you genuinely care about, worry more about being liked by yourself, or worry more about what God has to say about you. You so worried about the internet. That's so stupid. I'm sorry, but excuse me, that is so stupid. Why? Why do you care about strangers? You're not living for strangers. I could care less about getting a well done from all 50,000 followers. I want a well done from God. So if y'all have a problem with how I live my life, you have to take that up with God. Like, that's not even me. I'm just an obedient, you know what I'm saying? And I don't say that to discredit my followers. I come on now. You guys are the whole reason I'm even here, for real. You know, even on the freaking app. But it's not about that. It's not about gaining followers. Who gives a crap? Like, truly, who cares whether you're talking to one person or 55 or 150 or 1,000? Like, it doesn't matter. What's your purpose? What did God tell you to do? Stop worrying so much about being liked by everybody around you. Most people, majority of people, 98% of people don't even like themselves. What makes you think they finna like you? Like, why you want validation from people that don't even validate themselves? That sounds crazy, friend. Respectfully, that don't make sense. Yo, I'm really going in and I don't know why. I'm sorry if I'm triggering people. You would be proud. I have a little routine when I get home from work to do. I have workouts, and now I have that stepper. No, I'm so proud of you, Maya, for real. That's beautiful. I'm so grateful for these aligned friendships leading me to healing and back to God. Girl, when I say Sunshine is one, I be boo-hooing at her story. Like, I can't wait. You know when you see people and it's like, ooh, she anointed and don't even know it, child. Sunshine's one of those. Sunshine is one of those people for me. She's in my Patreon. That's why I be calling her out. That is my girl. I become such close friends with all my Patreon girls. It's like, I be so invested in their stories. And I'm like, ooh, you got a calling on you, baby. Like, I can't wait for you to see it. I can't wait for you to find it. Because once you discover, and that's for everybody, once you discover the person that God actually created you to be, you will realize that you never actually hated yourself. You never hated yourself. You just hated the version of yourself that the world made you into. And that's not you. That's literally not you. Like, you were created to be something so beautiful. You just lost it along the way because the world is hard, honestly. It's not even necessarily your fault. I mean, some stuff is. Don't do that, Miss Perfect. Some stuff is your fault, but you know what I mean? Like, the world turned you into a different being. That's not you. You don't hate you. You hate the worldly version of you. But wait till you discover who God created you to be, bro. I was trash. Do you know how dope I am? That's not in a conceited, cocky type of way. We should all think that about ourselves. When you find that version of yourself, you will realize how dope you are, bro. I remember when it hit me. I remember when I was sitting there and I was like, I'm low-key dope for real. Like, what? And I'm not talking aesthetics. Don't be weird. I'm not like, oh, I'm cuter than her. I got a bigger butt. Like, don't be weird. It's not a competition. Just me by myself, not comparing myself to anybody. Just me in a room alone. I'm dope as hell. Who knew? I didn't know. I was trash. I mean, I was horrible. I was nice to other people, but I was horrible to me. Like, I never viewed myself in that light because I was living as the worldly version of myself. But the very second I discovered that ain't actually me. I don't talk like that. I don't walk like that. I don't act like that. I don't feel like that. I don't even think like that. Like, what are we talking about? That wasn't me. I was living as a stranger because I was living as who the world created me to be. That's crazy to think about, y'all. I tell people that all the time, like, because, you know, I have a lot of people that are, like, invested in my journey and my story, and I love that. But I tell them all the time, baby, I'm not no better than you. The only difference is I found my light switch. You have a light the same as I have a light. You just ain't found the switch yet. My only thing is to help you find the switch. That's it. Like, all I did was find the switch. I'm not more capable. I'm not more deserving. What? I'm not more anointed. I'm not more called. I just found the light switch. And I was like, boop. I play too much. But for real, I flipped the little switch and I was like, whoa. There's a lot of good in there. I didn't even know. And I'm telling you, when you flip your switch, ooh, life gets good. I'm just saying. Sunshine was one of the ones for me. Because that's one of the ones, like, I know her story so well because she's in Patreon. So we talk all the time. It's like, I know her story so well. And it's like, bro, when you go through so many negative things, but you have God in you and you don't even see it yet, it's like, I can't wait for the day that she really sees it. And not that she don't see it. She called herself out. It wasn't me. I'm just speaking on the comment. It's not that she don't see it because she obviously sees it because she's working on herself so much. So you don't have to fully see it in order to invest in yourself, in order to work on yourself. When you're willing, that's all you need. All you need to do is be willing and you'll get everything God has ordained for you. You need to be willing. And clearly she's willing, but I'm saying the day that she sees it, she gonna be like, ooh, the devil had me fooled. Like, had me thinking that I was nobody. What? You're crazy. I've been honest about that. The enemy had me thinking I was nothing. Like, I'm nobody. I'm not worth anything. I'm incapable. Everybody deserves a happy, beautiful life. I love everybody, but for me, it ain't it. Who? What are you talking about? Do you know how anointed I am? Like, it's mind-blowing to me now to think about how I used to feel about myself or even talk to myself. I wouldn't even form my lips to ever speak that way about myself, ever. Are you crazy? Do you know who God made me to be? Do you know who God called me to be? Do you know how many lives I've saved already? Be for real. Like, don't make it weird. Do you know how many messages I've got where people are like, thank you so much for being you. Like, you're the first person that has ever talked about God that I resonated with, that I heard. Like, I heard what you said. And I'm like, I spent my whole life thinking I was nobody. You have spent your whole life thinking that you're nobody. You're not. You're somebody. You're somebody. Period. I don't even need to explain that. You are somebody. You've just been living as a worldly version of you. You don't like that person. Go discover the person God created you to be. You will love her. My main audience is women. That's why I always say her. But if you're a man too, you'll love yourself when you finally discover the version of yourself you were created to be. And you compare that to the version of yourself that you've been showing up as. They're two totally different people. Most of the time. I can't speak for you, I suppose. But for me, it was night and day. I was like, ew, I don't know why I ever talked like that. I don't know why I dated them. Ooh. I've been getting chills thinking about my dating past, baby. What? And I would cry. I'm like, why am I not getting a good man? Because you're not a good woman, love. You're a good woman in your spirit. You deserve a good man, but you're not showing up as a woman that deserves a good man. You keep praying for a husband. You're not ready to be a wife. Y'all, it's time to get off. But I did do a whole video on that. I did a whole live one time about preparing to be a wife. Because I spent my whole life praying for a husband, but I never, ever, 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 ever stopped and prepared myself to be a wife. So I did a whole live on that. It's the replay is on YouTube if you guys want to go see it or go watch it if you haven't yet. The whole replay is on YouTube. My username is All Things See Win because my name is Chelsea Win and I talk about all things. And it's like that across all social media. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the things are All Things See Win. So you can go watch that replay if you'd like. Anyway, let me get through the comments and then I'm going to get off. Hi, how are you doing? Hi, I'm great. How are you? Boom. That part. We normalize depression and anxiety so much that people brag about it nowadays. People brag about it so much. And it's like, why are you doing that? I really think that people just talk about it so openly. People talk about it so openly just because they need the trauma bond. Now, this is just my opinion. I think people get so comfortable talking about that because it's normalized, like, oh, I have depression and she has depression. So now if we talk about it, now we got something to discuss. Now I feel less crazy. I feel less hurt. Does that make sense? I feel less miserable because I know she's depressed too. So now it's just like a normal thing, not realizing it's very much a real thing, but I'm only going to speak on I don't speak on this a lot because people be getting offended, but I will speak from my experience. Depression had me in a chokehold for 2.5 years. It controlled my entire life. Everything. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything. And looking back, I truly believe that yes, it is a very real thing. And no, you cannot cure it like that. However, you can't cure it at all. But you cannot cure it overnight from just a simple change. But I do believe that I had more power than I thought that I had. I believe that I had control over how hard it hit and how long it stayed. And I say that not for your case, because I cannot speak on your case. Don't get mad at me. I'm just speaking on my experience. My lifestyle was set up for me to be depressed. That's it. And I think the issue with this is every time I went to see somebody, they just tried to prescribe me medication. And no hate to those that have medication. Do your thing. But I think that there's a issue somewhere with the system, because if we're going to a doctor and we're telling them that we're depressed, they are not asking certain questions about our lifestyle. Nobody asks me. Nobody say, well, what do you do on a daily basis? What words are you speaking over your life? What are you drinking? What are you putting into your body? What type of foods are you eating? Like, what are you listening to? What are you looking at on social media? Like, what are you doing with yourself? What is your life like? Nobody's asking these type of questions, of course. And so they're just prescribing medications, which, to be real, it's a Band-Aid. Now, if you want to wear a Band-Aid for the rest of your life, I'm not hating on you. That don't have nothing. What you do is not my business. So I'm not telling you to act different or what you're doing is wrong. But for me and my household, why do I want to wear a Band-Aid for the rest of my life when it's very clear that my lifestyle is set up for me to fail? Change my lifestyle. I just think it's really ironic that I have depression still lives in me. But depression leaves my body so quick, boy. I'm saying when I feel it, I be like, oh no. I go into like overdrive. I talk about this often. I have a mood tracker, and my blue days are my down days. Like mentally, I feel like my energy's off. My mental health is struggling. If I have 2 blue days in a row, I'm done. Like, I'm like, I can't talk to nobody today. I gotta focus. Like, I like lock in. You know what I'm saying? People don't even hear from me if I go 2 days. It's very rare that I go 2 days with a bad mental health day, bro. So am I depressed? Like, how? Somebody make it make sense. If people don't agree with me, make it make sense to me in my head. How, not that long ago, I spent years of my life depressed and couldn't fix it. Like, I couldn't change it. I felt like there was no options. I didn't know what to do. I had lost complete control. And now I have God. I have a routine that works for me. I have a life set up for me to succeed. And depression literally does not last more than a night. Seriously. I would really argue with this point any day of the week, because it doesn't make sense to me how people keep saying they're so depressed, but then when I ask them what their lifestyle is like, their lifestyle is set up for them to fail. I'm not saying depression isn't real. I'm just asking, what part do you play in getting yourself out of that? Is your routine set up for you to fail, or is your routine set up for you to be happy? Which one? If it's set up for you to be depressed, then why are you so shocked that you're depressed? I don't know. That just be... Anyway, say this on a video and make it usable like the sound. Girl, I don't remember what I said. What was I talking about? This live is so everything. Oh, my last live before I start work. Friends, I'm going to miss this. Oh, we're going to miss you too. I'm actually really sad. I mean, I'm excited for you to start a new job, but I'm sad that you're not going to be here anymore. Sunshine been rocking with me from like the first live. We've been doing lives for a while. If you're new, we be having the same crew. Like, we've been working, growing, striving for something. Like, it's been a wild past year, for sure. Yes, that's hard. Will you preach in Chelsea? Hello, greetings from Cancun, Mexico. Hello. Tired of looking for instant gratitude. Hold on, let me go back up. Prepare to qualify. What that mean? Do you have... Hold on. Give me some grace, okay? I'm trying to find the comments. Half the people you want validation from don't even like you. They would never encourage you anyway. That's facts. You have to choose your hard. My therapist said it's hard either way. If you stay stagnant, that's hard. If you let go and heal, that's also hard. Yeah. I like you. Thanks. I like you too, friend. People forgot about God and made strangers their God, looking for validation and praise. Oh, yeah. Facts. Facts is facts. I never hated myself. I hated the version of myself the world turned me into. Yes. What if I never discover who God created me to be? Why? What if I never find it? I'd be scared sometimes. Whether you find the version of yourself God created you to be is up to you. You decide if you find that. You decide if you discover that. That's just my straightforward answer. That decision is truly up to you. Like, go get it. It's literally like the version of yourself that God created you to be is right there. Like, it's already inside of you. You just have to step into it. You have to go get it. Like, you don't really have to find anything. It's already there. You just have to give yourself the space and the opportunity to discover it. That was a good answer. That was a good answer. I'll be shocking myself sometimes. Like, okay, Chelsea. It's literally been a quiet voice in the back, but God screaming through you. I'm dope. I know that's right. It's giving Noah I don't know what that says. All lights turned off can be turned on. Ooh, I don't know who that person is. So is that a book? For real, Sunshine has me crying too. Yeah, Sunshine be having me in tears. Everybody does. I be crying at everybody's story on Patreon. Do you go to church? Have a church home? I don't have a church home. I don't have a church home. I was going to explain my whole thing. Like, I do have a church home in North Carolina, but I actually live in Ohio right now. But then I was just going to say no. I don't have a church home. But I don't mean to preach on it or nothing. But I think that social media is a tool, so you can use it to your advantage. So if you really want to know, like, I have a lot of church homes. I got a pastor that I watch every single Sunday because I use social media as a resource to better me, not to hinder me, not to damage me. I don't think you need to have a physical church home. I think that's a bonus. I think that's a beautiful thing, but build a home for yourself. Build a village. You know, like, find creators that you resonate with. Find creators that inspire you. Follow them. Find pastors that speak to you, that you hear God through. Follow them. Like, you have all the power to make a village for yourself, to build a community for yourself. Utilize it. But no, I don't have a physical church home, but I love me some pastors. I'll give you my recommendations if you guys want. My favorite pastor is PMJ. It's Pastor Mike McClure Jr. His YouTube is Rock City TV, like a rock, ROCK, Rock City TV on YouTube. He's live every Sunday, and I'll be there front and center. The first row. I love me some PMJ. So that's like my favorite. I'll say that. That's my favorite. I don't like to say favorites because there's some really good pastors, but PMJ is probably my all-time favorite. Prepare to qualify. I don't know what that means, but I receive it. Now you shaking me to my core, then going to end the live. I'm so sorry. And I still never left because that was a while ago. Thank you so much for your message. You're so welcome. Loved this. Thank you. See you at 8. Have the best day God has for you. Period. I straight said bye. Still here. We are, though. Thank you for reminding me. We are going live tonight. It's 8 p.m. EST, so 8 p.m. my time. I'm going live with my friend Mackenzie. We're talking about godly relationships. What is the purpose in a boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic? And all things. We're talking about all those types of things tonight at 8 p.m. EST. So whatever time zone you're in, I don't know. She's in a different time zone than me, so it's 7 p.m. her time. But me, EST, Ohio, it's 8 p.m. tonight on TikTok. Hi fam, hi. Gotta go drop off. I love y'all so much. Bye, sunshine. Chelsea, this was amazing. I start work next week, so see you on Zoom. Aw, that part. I think I even became codependent on meds. My therapist was like, it won't be a fix all. I'm like, no, I know, but also I do think I have an imbalance. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It definitely is a real thing. Like, there definitely is certain cases where you need the medication. Like, I'm not trying to downplay no medication. I just think it's ridiculous that it's the very first thing given to us. Why are you giving me a Band-Aid when I need surgery? Like, that Band-Aid's not about to fix me. Those meds are not about to fix you. It's a Band-Aid. You're going to have to stay on it. And the second that you get off, you're still going to be depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't fix anything. So yes, I think it's a good tool if you need it, but I don't think it's a solution. It's not a solution. Sometimes you need surgery. Sometimes you need to dig deep into who you are and what you've been through and what could have led you to be depressed like that. What could be making that depression worse? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so let's add some lumps. Friend, what you talking about? But I'll very easily say I got more work to do. Yeah. Oh, they were playing. I was like, friend, what are you talking about? He's an artist. I can send you. Oh yeah, I need that. The artist, I need that. I heard that. Which pastor do you watch every Sunday? I'm trying to find pastors. PMJ. TD Jakes. TD Jakes, I've never actually watched a sermon of his, but I really like some of his interviews. Like, I love his mindset. He's so deep, and I love that. Y'all know I'm a very deep individual. Like, I love that. So I'll be so intrigued by his responses. I've never actually seen a sermon, though. But the pastor I watch every Sunday, Luna, is PMJ. It's Pastor Mike McClure Jr. On YouTube, it's Rock City TV. Rock City TV. And they have it set up to where PMJ preaches on Sunday. And then Monday through Friday of that following week, they do what's called Devo Energy. And it's so cool because it's live Monday through Friday, like I said. I want to say it's 8:30 my time. Maybe it's 8. I don't know. Go look it up. I don't freaking know. But they do Devo Energy, and every morning there's different leaders from the church that are basically giving their perspective on the message from Sunday. Beautiful. I mean, I love it. It's so fun to me to know what they're talking about throughout the week. Like, when I catch the sermon on Sunday, and then throughout the week I can hear different perspectives. It helps me view it in a different light. It helps me dig deeper into what the message was, you know. I don't watch it every day because there's some, y'all know, there's some folks that I'm like, okay, like, she's getting on my nerves. Like, there's some people that you resonate and some people that you don't, you know, it just is what it is. But, I love the Monday. I love the Monday crew. Yeah, probably because they're males. I have a soft spot for the black men. Like, I love being able to hear a black man's perspective. No hate to any other men. I'm just saying. I grew up around a lot of black men, and I have a soft spot for the black men and their mentality and the way that they think and everything. So that panel on Monday morning is for black men, black leaders in the church. So to hear their perspective on the messages, I'm like, that is so intriguing. I love the difference between a male mentality and a female mentality. It's so intriguing to me to hear the difference. But anyway, Rock City TV on YouTube is what I'm talking about. Elevation Church, Pastor Furtick. Yep, that's a good one too. Some people look better in the... Oh, I forgot you was on here wilding. I don't know what you were talking about. I just had a hysterectomy and I was depressed and had anxiety before. And now I don't need them. Ooh, the premenopause did it. And I would have never knew. Yep. You say you're streaming tonight on TikTok. Yeah, we're going live on TikTok tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Me and... Mackenzie, not me forgetting her name. Me and my friend Mackenzie. I believe she's Fitness with Mackenzie on TikTok, but you'll see her when you get here. We have very similar mindsets, which is like the wildest thing. And so we've been talking, like, that's my friend. We've been talking, well, we met through TikTok, but she's my friend now. And we've been talking just about dating, and the boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic and wanting a marriage, but not being prepared to be a wife, all these things. And so we're like, what the heck? Why are we on the phone talking about this when we could be talking about this on a live? Like, we could be sharing this wisdom with other people. So we're going to go live tonight together at 8 p.m. EST. The live replay will be up on YouTube eventually, but yeah, that's tonight. If you guys want to come show love and join the convo. I have thoughts about TD Jakes. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that, but I try not to dig too much into all of that. I've heard some things about TD Jakes recently, and I'm like, I think that when I look too much into people's personal lives, I miss the message. And I'm like, I don't want to know anything about what they're doing, what they got going on outside this church. I just need to be able to hear God through you. So if you on that stage and you preaching that message and God is talking to me, that's all I care about. I can't worry about what people got going on. But yeah, I've heard a lot about that. I don't know what they talking about. It's crazy. Pastor Furtick. Yeah, Pastor Furtick is cool. I haven't seen too many of his sermons, but I've seen quite a few. The Monday Crew. Yeah, for Devo Energy. For my favorite pastor is PMJ, is Rock City TV on YouTube, and he preaches a sermon on Sunday, and then Monday through Friday of that following week, they have what's called Devo Energy. And so 4 different leaders each day from the church get on and they talk about their perspective on they talk about their perspective on that message from Sunday. The Monday Crew, the 4 people that talk on Monday for Devo Energy, I love them. I love them. I'm wilding. LOL, my bad, folks. You're fine. I let you stay. Look, I didn't even block you or ignore you. I'm like, maybe you really need the message. I don't know what you're talking about, though, friend. Are you okay? Are you all right? I almost spit that out because I played too much. But for real, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, if you're new here, I'm live every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. EST. So I will be live again Monday. Wow, it's Friday. If you are a woman that's interested in joining my accountability group, you can click the link in my bio to sign up for Patreon. We do Zooms every Monday night at 7 p.m. EST. That's about it. I'm very active on Instagram if you guys are interested in seeing like my life, my morning routine, all things me. I'm very active on Instagram. You also get to see my friends and stuff a lot on Instagram. So if you're interested in my actual self, you can follow me on there. It's the same username across all platforms. It's all things C-Win, because my name is Chelsea Wynn, and I talk about all things. Apparently that's the slogan now, because I keep saying that, but it's valid. But we are doing a live. I don't do lives at night, so this is the first time that we're doing this. But we are doing a live tonight at 8 p.m. EST. I'm going live with my friend Mackenzie, and we're talking godly relationships. What's the point of a boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic, and preparing to be a wife. So yeah, you can follow me on YouTube to see my daily vlogs. I try to post some of the live replays on YouTube too, so I'll see if I can post this one. Sometimes they be too long, but I don't know. God bless your heart. Okay, but if a pastor is criminal, I don't know if I want to hear what God has to say through him, because it could be muffled. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I agree. I just feel like if a pastor is up there preaching and you hear and like you receive everything that they're saying, like it's hitting you, like you get it and you start utilizing that in your life and whatnot, and then come to find out that they did something in their personal life or they did some off the wall stuff, does that change what God showed you through that? I don't know. Now, I do think you should obviously use discernment. I think it's all about discernment. It's all about this. If you don't have discernment, then what are we talking about? Like, you have to be able to discern everything. That's what I always recommend. I don't get too much into people's personal lives because I don't have to be honest. I don't have to get into their personal life. I'll see a message and I can discern whether that's a message for me or it's not. I can discern whether I need to be listening or I don't. Like, it's all about discernment. But yes, you're absolutely right. Damn, I could listen to you preach to me every day. Thanks. God said he would use a rock. You hear me? You hear me? She said God said he would use a rock. I know that's right. That's the thing, y'all. And I'm really gonna get off. We could preach on that though. God's gonna speak to you regardless of how you want to be spoken to. Like, God can speak to me through that daggone trash can. What makes you think he can't speak to me through TD Jakes? Like, what? That sounds crazy. I mean, I get what you're saying. I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I just think we get so stuck, and not you. I don't know you, love, so I'm not trying to come at you by any means. I agree with what you're saying, but I think that us as a society, we get so focused on people's personal lives. Be honest, if you knew my personal life, now I came a long way, but I'm just saying, your girl has lived a life. I've been a bucket of mistakes. Why would you listen to me? I'd be concerned why y'all do listen to me. Like, you listen to me because God's speaking to you. And whether you realize it or not, you feel God when I'm speaking. Why do you think you be here? Why do you think the people be consistently coming onto my lives? It's not me. You don't just like me. You're listening and you're receiving because God's speaking to you. Because God can speak through anybody. So what I do in my personal life should not change the fact that God's speaking to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I do live a really good life. I'm just saying, I ain't no fraud. I just told y'all, go follow me on Instagram. You'll see my whole life. But if you look at my past, I wouldn't listen to me. I was a bucket full of mistakes. I was trash. All I did was drink. I drank and had sex all the time. Y'all know I'm the first to admit it because I don't care. I overcame all of that. Like, I was just horrible. And not to say that those things are horrible. Those were just... 2 examples. I was doing a whole lot of no good, and now I'm on here preaching. Like, I feel like people, I don't know, but I also don't know a lot about what y'all are talking about as far as TD Jakes, because I don't get into all of that. Not even because I don't want to. I don't have time. I don't have time to be so invested in I don't even got time to sit and read those articles. Like, I don't got time for all that. I'm too focused on where I'm going. I truly don't know how green that person's grass is. I don't know. Like, I feel like I heard something about him and see, I couldn't even tell you. It's like I don't even know. I don't know. God bless your heart. Okay, period. Thank you. Judgments, I can listen to you. Thank you. I also don't listen to TD Jakes, but if something hit me that he said, I'll thank God for sure. That's why you have to live by the Spirit. Facts. People be thinking, you're still talking, friend. It was like I forgave you and everything, and you still wilding. What are you talking about? Respectfully, though, I don't know what you're talking about, love. The spiritual glow up is beautiful for sure. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, friend. But anyway, I'm getting off anyway because I've been on here for about 22 hours. I will see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. EST, or if you can't make it to tonight's live, you can join the replay on YouTube. And then I'll just see you Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. EST. I think he's saying time zones. That's how you know I've come a long way. When I have to give time zones, it's like I'm not just speaking to my little community anymore. Like, I gotta get so we got people in different time zones. Look at God. Won't he do it? Anyway, you guys have the best weekend ever. They better pay you. They do pay me. They do pay me. I guess paid, that's for sure. You think I'm doing everything for free? For free? No, they do pay me. Whoever they is. I don't know what you're talking about. TikTok? Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend.